You can be like, here were the outtakes.
Okay.
So you bought the cart and the horse. You have everything prepared.
I was going to buy some food for various animals of different types.
So, for the sake of brevity, they'll ask, what kind of animal are you trying to feed?
Birds, some
So-
pet rodents, and some pet spiders.
So they look at you very like they tilt their heads like you could feed the like you can tell what they're like giving you the look for. It's like you can feed the spiders, the rodents, but then they just don't want to question it because they get money out of this. So they'll sell you probably a good 5-6 loaves of bread.
My reaction to just everything.
And then probably a few smaller animals. This all total probably about like 5-10 gold, depending on how much you want of it.
Did they sell him a bunch of pinkies?
Maybe.
So,
Jason, do you know what pinkies are?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what pinkies are?
Isn't that like baby rats or something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna take the rodent food and the bird seed. What was it? I'm sorry, I need to like hard reset my brain. Where's the
down?
Where's the reset button?
Should be in
Reset
a
is
small
called
bowl.
nap.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be buying like bird seed for birds, and then maybe do they like pellets or something for rats? I don't know.
They kind of look at each other. It's like, not really, but we have bread
Okay,
and steel croutons.
that would be great.
So
As
for
many
a couple loaves of bread and croutons and some bird seed, if you want a lot of it, it'll be 10 gold. If you just want a few days worth, it'll probably be 5.
Well, it's bird seed and stale croutons and bread, so it shouldn't go any more bad than it already is. So I'll be buying 10 gold's worth of it.
Okay, mark it off your inventory, and you have like
Stockpile.
5 days worth of animal feed.
Hello.
Okay, so since Jonik is prepared a little bit, Abe, you have gotten heavily praised by the Magister. He wants to take you to the hidden city of Duis Vici, a city that your people have heard of very vaguely, but each attempt to find it has led in being utterly disoriented and thrown right back to where you were. He wants to take you before the Magisters and the Magisterium, speak of your deeds, and offer you some land, to which, for the sake of brevity, you told everyone, they all found out, they all voted in the way they saw fit, and they voted for the tower, because there were some land plots available with pre-existing structures. So he's first going to take you to the Magisterium. You're going to talk to the Archon there, blah, 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 sign some papers, get you a deed, go to the land with the Magisterium-approved Constromancer, which is a fancy word for specialized artificer, to then help you repair the tower and clear it out of any previous infestations.
Oh my god.
So everyone has gathered the information. You now know you have a day and a half to prepare for the journey. So who would like to do what before heading off?
Hey. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. in the downtime, how much would you say Thef has learned of her language books? She's focusing entirely on Orcish.
Entirely on Orcish. So you're going to use the 4 hours rest, and then the other time, basically the rest of the 20 hours for light activity.
Yes.
So you have 20 math, brain, calculating, 20 plus 12, 32. So 32 hours. You don't get any exhaustion. This is going to be a very timely process. You can't try to expedite it. So you're pretty much going to quiz yourself with the orcs of the local populace if you want to try to expedite it anymore. And if you want to do that, just
Is
roll.
it probably too antisocial to attempt that?
You could probably ask, oh god, what was his name? Rathus or Jonic.
They both know Orcish?
Rathus does,
Okay.
and I know Jonic does. Or
Yep.
And there's
Paula.
also
And Abe.
Hey.
If you want to do that, it doesn't matter with who, you can just declare whomst and whatever, and just roll in just a straight intelligence check.
Okay. Again, she's probably too antisocial and would not, unless approached, while studying Orcish on her own.
Okay, and you got the Orcish book. Let me see how many hours that is, because it's going to be a lot. Because you're an elf, you have less of a time constraint. Let me find it. Okay, so that's good. You now know yes, no, and maybe in Orcish.
Okay.
And you spent 32 hours and blah 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 blah. Elven, high elf. The amount of hours it would take for a high elf dedicating most of its time on a book of this kind, like just straight on reading as much as I could, it would be 500 hours of sheer studying.
Oof.
So you can subtract 32 hours from that 500.
Oh shit, okay, let me get my notes.
So I changed. I'm gonna do a test roll of a cantrip to see if this works. Hey, crit.
What are you hitting?
Nice.
What are you hitting?
Oh.
What?
Oh,
What? Hello?
Interesting.
Hello? What is this? I'm gonna search for it. What does this bring up? I'm scared. Nothing.
I think what it is that Dort clicked Thorn Whip on my attack, and it tried to pull it up, and it's like this doesn't exist, and it's just screaming.
Mood. Okay, so where was I before I got distracted entirely?
Oh, does the damage roll actually work? Hey, it works. Wait, should it be 5 plus 2?
It should just be 5.
Yeah.
it's a crit, so you're
Oh,
actually supposed to roll the dice twice.
he's right. It's 1d6 and then another 1d6. It's great.
If you want to roll it where it just doubles whatever you roll, that works too, I guess.
Okay, so Stephanie was reading her book.
Read.
So you're struggling on the grammatical part of it and the way they structure their sentences. And that's where you get in this time period and time frame.
Cool.
Who is next? Who has a task or errand they would like to run in the day and a half they have?
Would you say that it took me that whole full time to do the acquiring of things?
Oh no, that was just like a day.
Oh, okay.
So you still, that was like walking out to the stables, which is like 20-ish minutes. So you have a whole ass day and a half.
You know what? Are there any birds around? Like flying around, or maybe like are there any native birds?
There is a lot. Let me pull up my bestiary.
Cool.
Okay, so you're just gonna try to find one random one?
I'm gonna try going around kind of the outskirts of the city. So still in the city, but like the edges, looking for anywhere that there might be birds or flocks of birds. Or bird-like creatures. It doesn't actually have to
Oh, okay, I like where this is going. Roll me a nature check
Small-
or survival.
small flighty things.
Survival or nature, see what the dice say. What does the RNG gods have in store? Ooh, I was
God.
hoping for this. I get to look at the specialist.
Oh no.
And
Okay, so
Sonic dies.
I was gonna say, as soon as I find something, I cast Speak with Animals.
okay, so this is still active, and you find these weird chicken-esque creatures.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh jeez! I hear chicken-esque. My brain goes PTSD mode. Ah, jeez.
So, what do you say to these chicken-esque creatures?
Okay, so they're a distance away, right?
No, they're walking up to you. They're not hostile
Oh
because
jeez.
you alerted them,
Oh jeez.
and they can understand you.
Okay, no, Janek would not be having a panic attack right now. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh god, I'm choking on myself now.
Okay. Do they look especially vicious?
No. Let me look at let me go to the description real quick. I have to, because I have the name of it. I just don't have the stat block.
I am just really hoping these aren't what I think they are.
What is
Oh, I'll let you suffer. But I will not hurt you unless you roll high enough.
Okay. Menacing.
God damn, where did I put this goddamn PDF bullshit?
That frickin' gif.
is this
Of that.
B movie on the back?
No, I don't.
Yes.
I don't know what
it
you're
is.
talking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Almost
What?
ready, I swear.
What?
Is it this? No, I think it's this one. Is it this one?
Squash theft. Chad normal theft.
Okay, so as the creatures begin to approach you, they look like a weird rooster.
You're dead. You're dead. You're fucking dead.
So there's
He knows exactly what it is.
How many of them are there?
okay, so if you would like to identify them as they're now close enough to approach, please roll.
Watch these just be
How-
roosters.
okay,
like
how many-
normal roosters.
How many of them are there?
3.
Oh jeez.
They are not. They are not what you think they are.
Oh shit.
Oh, I think they are. I hope they aren't, but
As everyone messages the chat, and I can't see the dice roll.
Cobra chicken. Okay,
Roll
nature.
or history.
11.
The DC was 9.
Ooh.
These are a creature called, let me go back to my drive, a Basan.
Oh, good. It's not what I thought it was.
They are considered a tiny dragon.
Okay,
They are weird
Cool.
roosters, their stomachs are scaled.
cool.
Their plumage, or the little, I call them doodles,
Mm,
look like they're living flame. They are a blue coloration, and their wings fade into a green.
that's very cool. Okay.
You do glean from that they actually do not eat normal things. They will actually eat ash and coal.
Wow. That's
And you also know that they are rather rare. Like endangered rare.
pretty cool. Okay. Okay.
And they approach you and they're like, predator? Predator? Predator?
I go in beast speak, or whatever you want to call it. I go, I am friend.
Friend? Friend, friend, friend?
Uh,
They'll kind of, when one says it, the rest say it.
I come bringing gifts of food.
Food, 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 food. And they kind of do like a little happy bird dance.
and I just go. I just kind of go scratches my head, and then I pull out. Hold on a minute. Let me see. What do I have? I could hold on a minute. Why do I have this?
It's always gonna be good when someone starts off with that.
Okay.
What is here?
The panic attack that I gave everyone.
Okay. I full disclosure, fully convinced it was going to be 3 cockatrices.
Yeah.
No.
That's exactly what I thought
I was
too. That's
fucking
Thought
horrified.
about it. I thought about it. But I'm like, cool dragon chicken.
that's
That can breathe
why
fire.
that's why I went the return of the Cobra chicken.
They live in the forest, though. It was a nat 20 to find them.
It's going to take me a second to come off of that high.
The adrenaline.
Well, you're awake now.
Yeah, completely, fully awake. Oh my god. I feel like I just got chased. Okay. I am going to take out very slowly and carefully, so not to startle them. A few pieces of, I'll say, I have paper. It doesn't say how much paper because that was never specified, but I'll bring out an amount of paper.
Okay.
I'll remove this from my thing because I'm gonna be burning it. Oh wait, actually, I have. In my in my explorer's pack, did I have anything to have like a fire?
You should
I-
have
That's
that
in your
tinder.
Just tinder blocks. Okay.
Now you wish that you would have taken one of my 2 spells that can start fires.
I am going to. I was actually thinking about changing to having the bonfire spell, but anyway, I'm going to take out a piece of paper, and I'm going to kind of put them on the ground, not too close to them, because I don't want to be. I mean, I don't think that they're scared of fire, but whatever.
They are. I think they're immune. Okay, they're not.
I'm going to light the paper on fire,
Okay.
and then just kind of have it be burning.
Okay.
And once there's just like it's just been charred to the point of just being kind of like it's just charred, right?
Yeah.
I will then kind of look up at them. What are they currently doing?
They're the biggest of them, which is probably the size of I forget the type of chicken, but it's called something giant. So it's a big boy. And it's the closest to you. It's about 10 feet away, and it's just looking side to side using its eyes to look at you.
On the actual text,
Okay, and I'm gonna.
click on the picture, and it should blow itself up onto the TV.
Where is it?
screen.
Where is it?
Yeah, it should come up on
Sounds the breed that you're talking about is the Jersey Giant.
Oh my
Okay. Okay, then right click on
I
the
think
picture,
that's what it is.
and then
The
it should
Jersey Giant.
Is it gray?
Anyway, I'm going to start to kind of like put the fire out by just kind of turning the paper. Like I just get a stick and I just like turn the paper over so to enough until it like just crumbles to ash and the fire kind of goes out.
As long as you click
So
on
as
the
soon as that
picture,
happens and it's just ash,
not the
they
whole thing, it
charge
should just print the picture.
and they start pecking at the ground where the ashes are.
Okay.
And they make quick work of it. I would like you to roll an animal handling check at advantage, please.
Okay. Let me see here. 15.
Okay, so you can get close enough to them to inspect them further if you wish. They are not spooked or frightened by your presence.
Okay. And I'll do that.
Roll a history or nature check.
9.
They're pretty. They're very endangered, so seeing this many of them is actually kind of like, boosting happiness. Gives you a rush of serotonin, the reward chemical. So as soon as they're done making quick work of the ash, then they just kind of look at you for a minute. They kind of... It's very hard, even with speak with the animals active. It seems like they're almost whispering to each other.
You guys still hungry?
Fine. And then once again, when the big chicken speaks, the two others speak in sort of an echo. Like, fine. Favor. Favor, follow. And they kind of just all repeat and just do a little bird dance. They kind of stamp their feet a little bit.
I just like to help others. You don't need to do anything for me currently.
No. Favor for us.
Oh, what do you need?
Follow. And they kind of like, do you know the bearded dragon that kind of does like the little nod dance? It's kind of what they're doing.
Okay, and I kind of motion as though I am going to start following them.
And they skitter.
Okay.
They lead you into the forest a bit deeper, not too further, and you see like this little craggy outcropping almost, where it's just a bunch of rocks that were gathered up for whatever reason. And they all start hopping up on top of it, and I'm not going to make you roll athletics if you do follow them that far.
Okay.
So you go up there, and there's actually a deep hole that leads further down. And with the way the sun is right now, there is a nest. There is a lot of eggs. The big one comes up.
Okay.
Not many. Need spread. You spread.
Oh, I can do that. You just need me to take your eggs and bring them elsewhere?
Take some. Take 4.
Okay. I'll take care of them for you.
They all just kind of do a happy stamp dance and just... They actually get really close to you, and the big one just kind of bonks its head up against your shin.
They appear to be on fire. Are they actually?
Do you have a picture of them?
No, didn't you mention that they appear to be on fire?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to touch it. It just looks... It's kind of like a magical thing going on. You can now mark in your inventory 4 Basan eggs, B-A-S-A-N. Yeah, that's the one. They're that big. They am chonkers. My family has like 5 of them.
Oh dear God.
They're also pretty mean.
So they're chicken the size of vultures.
Pretty much. Except they just need ash and like coal to survive.
Okay.
The chicken does inform you before the spell runs out that they don't really need much tending to other than being rotated every now and again.
Okay.
They don't need to be kept in... They said it's very hard for them to convey this, but they basically say that you can keep them warm, but the best option would be to keep 2 of them colder than the others. And they can't really convey to you why.
Being a druid, because I actually kind of know why. Can I say that as a druid I know why?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it because their gender is based on the temperature that they're kept
You're
at?
kind of like a crocodile. Or alligator. I don't know the difference between the two. They look the same. But you get the point.
Okay. Shoot. Oh. How does air conditioning work?
Well, it's really that they don't really need to be kept warm, so they don't really need a... They don't really need a heat source. They're pretty resilient. You can also tell by the eggs and how dense the shell itself feels. These can take a beating.
Okay. So they're not super delicate like a normal chicken egg.
So you could,
I love big chicken.
Don't you know the eggs themselves have an AC of 17?
Dang. Okay,
They're
cool.
they're resilient.
Great. And then, all right. How will I keep the 2 cold, though?
Roll a general intelligence check.
Okay.
See if the idea comes to you.
Oh shit!
After all of these bad rolls!
Okay, so you
Big brain.
so from using the big thonks, so you put together that you can probably make a little sash to keep 2 eggs around your persons at all times because you are relatively warm. You're a furred, warm-blooded creature.
Okay.
Then you also guess that you can maybe make a pouch for the other eggs that of a material that's relatively thin and breathable.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to the store and buy the materials.
Chances are you can make a makeshift one on your own relatively easy.
Gotcha. Okay.
So make a roll nature and add your proficiency bonus. So nature plus 2.
I mean, I already am proficient in nature.
Well then roll that plus another 2.
Oh, okay. So 24.
Okay. You not only find the materials out in nature, you find a cruelty-free way of doing it. It is woven of plant fibers and insulated by some cotton that you found growing in the wild.
Cool.
You also do the same thing. You kind of more or less fashion a basket, so airflow is pretty direct to keep them cooler. And yeah, you pretty much did everything. This all took you probably this entire process of finding them, conversing with them, feeding them, making this ramshackle little egg hatchery upon your person. Probably took you maybe 3-ish hours. So who else needs to do stuff? Stephanie, do you need to be that one broke wizard college student that needs to buy inks?
No, I'm actually very good on my inventory items. I still have a shitload of fucking paper and pens and shit, so good to go.
Rethus / Mawiri.
I don't think Moiri's back yet, so.
Okay. Rathus, does he need to do anything? Any business to attend to?
Let me think. He'll probably make a commission real fast from Vitriol.
Of?
Just a small weapon.
What kind?
Oh, you know damn well what kind, Zach.
So he's not gonna go to the journey?
Journey? What?
Hold up. Where are you? There are you.
Oh, yeah, no. I get the feeling that would take a long time.
In that case, you're gonna commission him for version 2.
Oh, version 2.
Why,
no,
of
no, no,
course
it
I
was
can
gonna
make you that. Oh, a gun?
I was gonna let him make a boomstick violin.
He scratches his chin for a bit. It's like, that is certainly doable, but it will be constantly out of tune.
It's more or less so you can have some fun.
Oh dear, this will be the biggest challenge yet. We haven't had ironwood in ages up here. But give me about a week or so, it'll be done.
Okay.
Is that all you need to do?
Oh, yeah.
No other commissions or
No,
etceteras?
he figures it would be better if he just goes and gets his stick, but he's just not. He's not leaving until he's relieved. Moths can be very threatening.
Next, Ari, do you have any business you'd like to attend to in the day and a half?
Say bye to my new friends I've made. I don't know.
Easy enough to do. They say they'll miss you and that they're going to send you a bunch of letters.
Oh, yay! They don't know where to find me.
They're orcs. They will find you.
Oh. Interesting.
Especially the Mistwalkers. They will find you.
Okay. That was it.
No, I don't. Dort's not here. Sad face.
He is restarting his PC.
Sorry, I'm getting doggy cuddles, so I'm gonna mute.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Mic off.
I have never felt more
My
anxiety from someone else in that one moment in time.
So, I'll be right back. I have to go corral the, as Ari affectionately calls Sunny now, the fucker.
Fucker!
As this is
He
apparently
teases me so
not-
fucking much.
he's not Samsero as he is now. He's Samsero when he was a young, dumb teenager.
Okay.
As he keeps trying to mount all the other dogs. So I'll be back.
Is he neutered?
No,
Oh,
not yet. His appointment's on the 23rd.
get his ass.
It's not his ass we're gonna be after.
Oh god.
Mic off.
Nope.
First
let's come back.
statement. We can finally do Vivoths and... My brain died. Abe's. For whatever reason, and I shit you not, I wanted to say Mentos, and I do not know why.
Mentos.
Wasn't there like a what am I thinking of? There's like a commercial where wait a second. The only reason I was so stressed out about there potentially being the Cobra Chicken is just I'm by myself. Ah.
Pretty much. I was like, if you'd gone on that 20, you would have found them, and on top of that, you'd have been able to talk to them and reason with them. Which would have been hilarious as shit to watch you tame a cockatrice.
The
So I would have laughed. Your castle or your tower's defenses would literally just be a bunch of cockatrices running around.
there's just a massive battle. We come outside. There's just a bunch of statues.
Are we gonna use Molder to make a giant moat around the tower?
If you guys want to, that's an option.
I will 100% be down for that.
Hell yeah.
That's. I have create water.
Hell yeah. I don't
I
have that
can't-
one, but
I came back to create a moat.
yes.
Okay, so, because I didn't want to skip you, did you have any business or chores that Vivoth or Abe would like to attend to before the journey?
Abe, no. Other than maybe just helping out with distributing the cure.
The rest of the Magister's men are pretty much doing that.
He still wants to do what he can to help while he's there.
Okay, easy enough to do. There's no role for that. Anything Vivoth would like to do?
Vivoth is literally just helping everyone else to prepare.
Okay, easy enough. So pretty much, anyone want to do any last minute stuff? Because there's still a lot of time between everyone, except Stephanie, because she used most of her time to study.
Yeah. Can I assume I take about 2 hours out of that to learn my scrolls?
Oh, yeah, it's easy. That's fine.
Cool.
Was there any cute orcs?
Do you want to roll for cute orc?
Sure, why not?
Roll investigation.
She finds one that just has derp eyes.
There's a chance.
Handsome Squidward. That's an orc.
16!
Okay, so you're looking for you rolled for cute orc. You find a very long-maned half-orc who has very well-kempt tusks, but is littered in scars from head to toe from previous battles. And he's pretty much just tending to a bunch of hunting hounds right now.
I'm just gonna ask him all about his scars the whole day.
Well, you see, this one is from Trading Galathur, that one over there. This one is from an owlbear. The one right here on my neck, that was from a drinking game.
Ooh, drinking game.
Yep,
You
and
wanna
that's
play
from
with me?
roll con. We'll come back to that right after that roll.
She beats him and he's just blackout drunk.
This is a contest too. This is the best part.
So roll Constitution?
Constitution saving throw.
Alright. Give me a
Quick
second.
fail.
Hope not. 10!
Damn.
He drinks you under the table. He got like a 17.
Oh man.
So you wake up in the tavern where everyone was staying. Stephanie just getting done with her second round of studying. Everyone kind of starts to gather their stuff, and you find Hollow Note is passed out on the counter to the bar. People have just started using her as a coaster.
Vivoth and Abe are both going to help her.
So Helena wakes up to a drow man and a desert nomad helping you up.
Why, thank you.
You have a nasty hangover.
Lovely.
Your head's pounding, you're a little sweaty.
Can Abe try using Lesser Restoration to see if he can get rid of it?
Oh, you can. So if you want to use it, just mark down your use of it.
Okay.
And Helena no longer has a hangover.
Cured.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So does everyone gather their stuff up for the income or pending journey?
Yes.
Yep.
Travel time.
So everyone has been provided horses except for Donnik, who has purchased his own for his wagon.
So, how long approximately will it take to get back to where we started?
Mage's Haven, it'll be 3 days journey. However, so this is going to be expedited.
Okay. What I'm wondering is, can I... If I were to buy meat, and then... I'm just thinking ahead to the spiders. Would it last long enough for us to get there, or would it be? It would probably be rotten by the time we got there, right?
You can, but you can buy living animals.
That's
Fresh
true.
Fresh meat or dried meat? Because dried meat can last a long time.
Well, that's fair. It'll be more expensive though. Freaking jerky, overpriced as hell.
They are hunters themselves, though.
You know what? I'm gonna. When we get there, I'll do some hunting.
Okay, easy enough. So everyone embarks upon their journey, the Magister in his finely dressed traveling gear. It is a blue armored doublet with very finely crafted leather boots that go almost all the way up to the knee. They are heeled, and he wears a very luxurious feathered hat. His pearlescent skin shining in the sun, his vacant white eyes looking forward, but you can't really tell if they're scanning or not. So for the sake of expedition, if you guys would like to take a watch, you can all roll in succession. Or you can have one person roll, and then I roll, see if an encounter happens.
Disturbia. Perception?
Yeah.
Cool. Wada bing, wada
Oh.
boom.
Okay, so I get to roll from the other list this time.
Mic on.
I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go check over here.
Why is my perception full?
Because elves are trained in it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And I get, I think my, what is it? The chronergy lets me use intelligence, I think.
That's only for your initiative, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, I still don't.
So you take the first watch, Stephanie. You're just kind of walking about the camp. They set up a little bit off the road a bit. The magister sleeping in his very fine carriage amongst a small gatheration of knights in white marble armor. So you're looking out off into the forest. The night sky still unchanged.
Beautiful elf eyes. Blink, blink,
Yep.
blink, blink.
The massive elf eyes are just zoom in. As you're walking through the camp, just circling around, doing your laps, or however you would like to do it, you hear some rustling.
Russell. Alright, check it out.
Okay. 1 second.
Sorry it took so long.
Are you going in stealth, or are you just approaching it straight up?
You know, Theft, just walking straight the fuck up. Also, just so everyone here knows, I have prepared 0 combat spells, so
Is this just Stephanie that's going, or is it the group as a whole?
this is just Stephanie.
Do any of us see her doing it?
You guys are
Stomp.
currently in the process of resting.
I mean, Vivoth is in his trance, and he's
Okay, the Vaughn and Rathis would be aware. So you do see Stephanie walk off.
Doot doot.
Are we gonna follow?
Vivoth comes out of his trance.
She just walks off doing a big steppy.
Step.
So you come out of your trance, you begin to approach. Does Rathis do anything about it?
He sighs and follows.
Okay, so everyone slowly gathers. And you approach the bush where you hear some rustling.
Mm-hmm.
The elves.
You see the bushes part. You see a scarred kobold face. You hear it scream. And I'm going to need Rathis to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, the thing. Got it. Oh.
Okay, so you still take full damage.
Oh!
Yeah, wait. Okay, yeah.
The first time he takes any damage.
And he's going to use his legendary action to do an additional dice of damage.
Oh.
Okay, so 6, 12, 18,
Jesus Christ.
20, 26 points of fire damage as this thing hawks up a loogie at you.
Oh my god.
And this just... You don't think much of it at first other than just the sheer disrespect this little kobold has done to you.
Oh no,
But then it begins to
Rathis
burn.
thinks a lot of what just happened.
And
Uh,
then...
1 hit point.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Stephanie is just
And then-
pure shock.
And then he begins to cast a spell.
Oh my god!
And does anyone here have a dexterity above 3 or higher?
I have a dexterity of 3. Plus, you mean plus 3, right?
Yeah, just plus 3. Anyone else? Anyone
I
who's
have-
closer?
Plus 4.
I plus
You
2.
just got hit with the loogie though, so you're
I
patting
have
your
a
face
plus
out.
3.
Hold on. Let me look between. Vivoth has a plus 3.
You can get 1 hit off before he dimension doors off.
Am I
Okay.
just waking up and then yeeting a rock at him?
I assume you heard
So-
an ungodly screech from Rathis.
So, how close is Stephanie to it? Like, is Stephanie 5 feet away from it?
She's about 5 feet away.
Okay, so she is engaged with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sneak attack.
Vivoth fires his short bow.
Okay, roll, see if it hits. You check his armor class. Okay, that just hits.
Okay. So, he wasn't surprised, and he already went.
But he is engaged. After the damage is rolled, After the damage is rolled, he is going to take a reaction.
Okay. Am I allowed to do something?
You do hear it going on. You would come in right after he dimension doors.
Aww. There was something I wanted to do.
So you hit him square right in between the femur and the pelvis. You hear him scream out in pain. He's going to use his reaction to do Hellish Rebuke, so please roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
Really quick,
Yes.
he was in the process of casting a spell, right?
You know, that spell fizzled.
Oh shit.
I rolled that concentration check to see if he would keep the spell. He got a nat 1. So he's like, fuck it. Okay, so you take half damage. Okay, I have to do math real quick. 16. You take 8 points of damage. And that would
Right.
go back up to him, and now he dimension doors. Off into the night.
Goodbye, sweet prince.
Don't you guys know that Rathus has his face covered in searing loogie?
Oof. Just so everyone here knows, if that hit Stephanie, she would be instant dead. 100%.
Like,
She
Yeah, I
would
don't
negative 12.
That would be a lot of damage.
Wait, does
Hello?
he have what I think he has? Does he have a thingy? Hold on, I gotta go to it.
So it dealt, I believe it was 26 points of
Oh
damage.
yes, it did.
And to let you guys know, kobolds have a special thing in my campaign where it's like a shitty dragon's breath, but it's aimed.
Love that.
However, this is a legendary creature because you guys pissed it off and made it train hard.
Oh, is this the guy we knocked out
Yeah,
on
it's the guy
the
that you left out with all of its friends that it's looking for revenge now.
road?
Just
Yes.
grabbing some
congratulations, Jason. By not killing him, we now have a big problem.
We have an arch enemy.
Shoot.
I love him too.
Rathus is just like ripping his sleeves trying to get this.
To be fair, we
The
probably
opposite
should have
face.
taken him with us.
So to let you know, Rathus, you have no eyebrows.
Oh no.
Okay,
Can I use mending to give you your eyebrows back?
Because of the fact I'm using, roll me an Arcana check. See how well you can put her eyebrows back on.
Stephanie just walks up and just magic hands your face.
So,
So you're gonna try
Oh.
to touch him right now?
No, like a good 2 feet away.
So you cast a spell. So you restore the part of the eyebrow close to the nasal ridge. So Rathus is sporting like half an eyebrow, really, like put together.
Well,
So-
did my best, darling. I can't say I could do more.
He's
so
doing-
Abe has woken up from all this commotion, yes?
Yes.
I'm gonna go up to Rathus, and do I see the state that Rathus is in?
Yeah, a lot of the skin around his face is burnt. His eyebrows were singed off, then magically restored to an extent.
I go to cast Cure Wounds, but not like rushing forwards and forcefully. I'm just like, I begin to put my hand towards Rathus, and I nod my head like, do you want me to?
So it's a healing spell?
It's a healing spell, yes.
Oh, hold on. I gotta ask Zach something real fast.
I know what it
Rathus in
probably
pain
is.
is going to say yes because he likes his face a lot.
As one does.
Okay. So, cure wounds.
Oh,
Okay, roll healing.
That is.
Okay.
It's not gonna do an overall thing.
Wait.
Okay. Whew.
Is that not? No, that's my healing. I need to fix cure wounds because
That's
it's broken.
funny.
So, good news is you're only going to have a little burn mark, and it's going to be towards your chin.
It's not an attack.
Wait, hold
It's
on,
not
what
an
does Rathus have? Oh, he's got healing word. He's just gonna use that on himself since we're doing a long rest.
Okay, roll if you would like to cast your healing.
And Steam turned itself back on.
6.
Still going to have that one burn mark scar. It's a bit late in the healing department in that one regard.
Okay. Can I try to put his eyebrows back on with lesser restoration?
Oh no.
Okay, make a wisdom check. Since you're trying to focus restoration to restore
Stephanie and
something
Ames
unusual.
just like fucking doing your makeup, trying to fix your eyebrows.
So you restore the eyebrows as best as you can remember them. Rathus, you have very thick eyebrows. However, they're not like, bushy, they're just like very filled in. However, one of them kind of has that weird like TikTok thing where it has like the 3 slits in it. But yeah, you managed to do it. The best that you can remember.
Looking very rough and tumble. I like this new look, to be honest.
He just kind of narrows his eyes and snaps his fingers and casts prestidigitation on you. So that
With
your
what-
clothes are soiled. My-
Stephanie's just fucking. Jeez.
He's not a happy man right now.
Abe glances over at Stephani's clothes all dirty and just shrugs like, I can't do anything about that.
Stephanie's just. Everything I did for you.
Yes.
So now you see in a nightgown and like a little like puffball hat with a candle is the Magister rushing up to hearing the commotion. The guards were all asleep. They're probably gonna get fired. And he's like, "Oh, what's going on? What happened? I heard a scream."
Looks like you suck at being a guard.
This is the Magister.
Oh, looks like you suck at this.
Looks like you suck at being a magister.
Yep.
Stephanie says,
Growing, dearest.
I spotted a kobold in the bushes and ran over to check it out, and
Oh, dearest,
Oh.
what did he do? Did he trip you up? And he waves his hand and your clothes are unsoiled.
oh, that was something else. I cast mending on myself.
Okay, so your clothing and stuff has been restored. And he looks at you, Wrath. It's like, oh, you're a bit rough. He puts his hand out, and you just see his eyes, and his skin just radiates for a minute, and you heal 20 health.
Oh, well. He's back up to full now.
Yeah, and he... Rathus, roll religion.
Oh, okay, hold on. Where'd I put it? As if I had...
So you think about it for a second, it's like, wow, that was a lot of healing energy. And then you're like, wait. I'm pretty sure ASMR's healing capacity is tied to how strong they are as a person. You're like, oh. He must be a really strong fucking wizard.
Oh, yay. I'm just gonna not insult you. Thank you.
And once that healing wave washes over you, he's like, Are you alright? I felt hex-like magic over you.
No, I'm fine.
Are you certain this feels like a very disdainful curse?
Perfectly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can, once we get into Deus Vici, we can talk to one of the High Mothers and get that taken care of.
I'm sure it'll go away eventually.
Oh, okay. Well, and he looks down toward the kobold was, and there's a scrap of paper. He's like, do you guys know a Vrex, the Destroyer?
Oh,
No?
Are you sure it's addressed to the fearsome foursome, saying, "I will kill you in your sleep with a rusted fork"?
That's
Oh.
not the first time I've gotten a message like that, so.
Interesting. I wonder if the rest of the fork can be shoved up its ass.
Paul and I
Oh,
need a fight.
kill. Well, anyways, I suppose we should get some rest before the next night. And he kind of goes back to his carriage. You see him wave his hands, and the guards immediately shoot up awake. And you see their muscles kind of just like tense up. Is there anything you'd like to do before you go to sleep, or are you just going to go straight to sleep?
I'm gonna switch my spells.
At the end of a long rest, you can do that.
Cool.
At least I think. Or during the long.
So I think you can do it during the long rest, is what I would say.
Okay.
Since Rathus kind of ripped his shirt sleeve off so that he could get that off of his face, he's gonna cast Mending and get it fixed.
Easy enough. So, the morning does come, everyone is fully rested, fully healed, has their slots back, and has their spells re-prepared. The second day of traveling does go by. A bit faster than what you anticipated, actually. You don't know why, but it felt like things were sped up a bit.
by the by, I was picturing this in my head, and I don't think I ever voiced it. It's fine that I just have the like 60-something rats hanging out in the back of my wagon, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. And I am occasionally feeding them.
That's that. I just assumed as much.
Okay.
So the second day went by a bit faster than what you expected. You do get to the outskirts of Mage's Haven before you'd really have to camp down.
Oh no.
So, people who would like to go to their previous abodes, you can do so now.
Okay.
Rathus gonna wander then.
So, if Rathus would like to be Muiri for a minute, go ahead.
Sure.
Because you are back at the cabin.
The
You are... You know what I mean. And you're dealing with a very disdainful drow not coming down from the roof.
Oh no.
As now I assume Dronic is approaching.
So I'm gonna have it so that the rats are hanging out still, just in the back of the wagon,
Easy enough to do.
She's
with Snuffles.
No, I love him.
let me pull it.
Wait a second. Hold the phone. Zach,
Yeah.
that item of his attracts rats, right?
Yep. It
Is he-
caps out at 2 swarms.
Okay, because I was about to say, was he about to get even more rats from Mage's Hold or whatever it's called?
Mage's Haven, he could talk to the rats there.
Just out of nowhere, there's a deluge of rats.
to the animals.
So what were you gonna do, Jonic?
I'm gonna as we approach, I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals so that I have that actively going.
Easy enough.
And I'm going with oh, I forgot the name already. Who was it that I was going with?
Nobody.
Was it not? Oh, okay. I was going with someone. Fine, that's better for me.
Where are you going?
I was going to go back to the little dirt.
His home.
Oh, your dirt home.
Yes.
Stephanie's probably going to go into town and buy some groceries because I actually realized I don't have any rations.
Easy enough to do.
Well, you're in luck because you're in a party with 2 druids that could prep good berry.
Plus, you have
Good
the
fair,
Outlander
good
background, so I honestly just stopped keeping track of rations.
Just feeding Stephanie out of your hand like a horse.
I owe you my life.
Yes,
Now.
you are safe now.
Okay, so, Jonic, as you approach the shack, you notice
So-
a very odd
I was
and
actually
raggedy drow man.
there was one thing that I was gonna say that I do before I go to the shack.
What?
Hunt for some food because I don't want the spiders to be hungry.
Okay, let's roll a survival check.
While he's doing
Okay.
that, Moori's just kind of trying to tempt him down with some more rations. With more food.
So you kind of just sniffs the air like,
So
and he
I
jumps down.
I'm gonna have speak with animals not on as I'm hunting for animals.
You just hear
Because-
them go, oh god, no!
Please, no, we don't want to die.
Please, I want to live!
My children.
He almost
Okay.
freaking hear the death screams.
He just like, forgets to turn it off when he feeds the spider something, and he just hears, oh god, no!
Oh God.
It hurts. I feel cold.
I feel my insides melting!
So Janik is gonna hunt for some small animals.
Roll survival.
He doesn't feel super great about it, but he's all for the circle of life bullshit. 19.
You gather up a few squirrels and some like a mostly mature deer.
Gotcha. Alright, I'm gonna make sure they're fully dead
They are.
before I take them to the spiders.
They're
Alright.
magic rock to the eyes.
I will. Actually, I don't have that spell anymore. Well, I don't have that spell prepared.
You got rid of Wait, how do you not prepare magic stone? It's a cantrip.
Oh, what's that? I forgot how cantrips work. Never mind. I still have it.
Okay, so
You can't prepare cantrips. They're just things that you know how to do.
Yes, I am the big dumb. I was studying so long that I didn't. I was so obsessed with what I should do and not with what I could do.
Joseph, you didn't yet know 4 moves. Would you like to delete a move to learn Artificer?
mood.
Delete
So-
something.
3.
Do you approach the artificial spider's den?
I am gonna go to the spider's den. Yes.
Okay, so you go in. I'm assuming you have Speak with Beasts active.
Yes. Now I do. I mean, yes.
So I'm pretty sure it's only a minute to cast as a ritual.
Yes.
And the first thing you notice is that they're all very much larger.
Cool.
And because of your knowledge as a druid, and your knowledge of, just normal spiders,
Mhm.
you look around, there's a lot of moltings around them.
Okay.
And you're like, wait a minute, maybe the spider, they're already mostly mature when I got them. Why are they molting that much? And then you kind of look around the nest a bit, and you see a hand hanging out of a webbed cocoon
Oof.
with a very fine jeweled ring on it. And then you turn around more and see one more. Then 2 more. Then you look down, there's a small one. The little pantaloon hanging out of it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna need to take them with me.
They first say that they were not hunting, A man dropped them in here with them.
Ooh.
Really?
They say yes, the man who stands above the cabin watching.
Oh. Did I see him as I went past?
Yep, he was being lured down with food.
Right. Sorry for being so long, by the way.
It's okay.
And then I just kind of lay out all the food.
And you tell them to board up.
So we're gonna if as long as you guys are okay with it, we're gonna be moving to a new location. I can easily recreate all of this at the new place, and because it'll be an area that I'm more often at, I'll be able to help you guys more often.
You hear the Spider Council beginning its session. It lasts for about 30 seconds, and then they agree.
One of them grabs a little rock and just beats it on another rock.
Beats it on
Pretty
one
much.
of the
One of-
webs.
One of the normal spiders has a wig and a
The
gavel.
spider you had, which was probably about the size of like a black widow, is now the size of your palm.
Oh shoot!
They have
So-
not merged.
By the way,
A wig made out of web.
what is the state of the few mushrooms that I had growing? I think it was in my house.
You want
Actually,
to go?
I haven't gone to my house. I haven't gone back to my house yet, so that's
So you
fine.
tell them to board up, they all begin to leave and head to where you told them to go.
Oh no, does Mawiri see that?
Yes, you see the spider. Just migration.
Oh, she's hiding behind the guy she just lured down.
So now she hear very gutturally, it's like, where is the food going?
And as
I don't know,
as
but
they're
hopefully not near me.
as they're going, I kind of say, "Don't eat all the rats. They're friends, at least for now. Please don't eat them,
The council has heard your remark.
or the eggs. Oh wait, no, I have the eggs on me. Never mind.
They're on you at all times. And they just said the council has heard your remark and just load up into the wagon.
Okay.
Tiffany is just like, what the fuck?
You see 3 giant spiders and 1 spider the size of a palm load up into a wagon.
Vavoth,
Janik, darling, are those things safe?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
As
We got
Hmm.
agreement. It's
Meanwhile,
fine.
Mawiri's just cowering in the corner. She is wrapped tightly around Alice.
I'm gonna pop back into the skeleton hole.
I mean,
it
what
is.
So I'm gonna pop back into the previously spider hole, and I'm gonna kind of search the bodies.
Okay, roll investigation.
Okay. 4.
You find about 40 gold.
Sweet.
You notice that one of them looks to be a higher-born person of half-elven descent. You notice that the rest are relatively peasants, but the small one was a small, about 13-year-old child.
Oh, jeez.
All of which remarkably have very odd, very almost surgically precise scarring. Well, not scarring, more of injury, pre-mortem. You tend to notice that the majority of them have 8 Achilles tendons severed, and the inner part of their elbow has been cut very deeply. Whatever hurt them was very predatory about it.
Yes. Actually, can I say that I get the ring that I saw earlier?
Yeah, it's fine. You already saw it, so you can grab it. It's a signet ring with a diamond in the middle.
Stephanie would probably know what that is.
If you show it to Stephanie, she can definitely roll history with advantage.
Hey.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to Stephanie, who is hanging around still.
So you did identify it to be a half-elf.
So, Stephanie?
Yes, Janik.
can you can you come here a minute?
Of course, darling. She walks up. Doot, doot, doot.
I don't think the spiders did this, but and I just kind of go.
You don't think?
I mean, it's not their fault. They didn't. They're not the reason this happened, but and I just kind of like gesture to come down into the hole. There's no more
Stephanie-
spiders in here, just so you know. They all cleared out already.
All right. Stephanie delicately enters the spider hole and looks on in.
There's a bunch of
Actually,
webbing.
she doesn't look that horrified.
You walk in, there is a clear path where there is no webbing for you to stand and inhabit this large pit.
Cool.
And you take a look at the signet ring. It has the symbol of a crescent moon with a star within it. Roll history twice. Pick the higher, because this does seem very familiar to you.
Not so good, huh?
DC was 9.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck yeah.
12 isn't too bad.
So you do know what family this person or persons has belonged to. This is the sigil of the Dusk Meadows. Dusk Meadows are a very odd and esoteric family. They tend to gravitate more towards illusions and what they can pass off with them. It is said and rumored that their very manner is just an illusion itself.
Ooh.
They are
Love
known to
that.
be very bitter and spiteful, however.
Ah, rude. Not the best, but Stephanie definitely respects them.
They are really heavy magic users, however, they
Yes.
tend to be more towards sorcerers rather than wizards.
Well, that's even better. Actually, the funny thing about Stephanie is she actually respects sorcerers a little bit more than wizards because they're naturally born magic. So they're basically the most magic you can be. You can train in magic, but you're not born with it. So she does technically respect sorcerers slightly more than wizards.
Oh,
So she's like, yeah, hey, hell yeah.
So
Also,
you-
did you make this with mold earth? It's wonderful.
Oh yeah, I specialize in it a little bit. I like to make my houses out of the earth.
Quite expansive.
At this moment, you do see a face poke out from the top of the pit. And speaking Elvish, only Stephanie can understand. I don't know if Jonic also knows Elvish.
Wait,
if it's who I'm thinking
Nope.
it is, Rory's probably with them too.
unless Goblin or Orcish is close enough. Nope.
So Stephanie here this is a very, very feral sounding in dialect.
Oh, it is.
Why did you take the food?
Me? She just points at herself.
No, the living rat.
Oh, Janek.
So
She
when you
turned.
do look up at this figure, you do notice that both its cheeks are missing, and you see
Oh my
the
god.
teeth. It is in fact a very mutilated drow, and
Mhm.
as the teeth progressively go back to where the molars are, they get sharper. They get very sharp.
Oh. Janek, darling, do you know this man?
I just turn around and look.
This is something that you previously encountered before in the wild. This is Onelius Canehurst, the exiled royal. The most
was-
feral and unpredictable of all the Canehursts.
He was the guy with the breaking of the bones constantly.
Ah.
To which you still do occasionally hear the snapping of bone, the ripping of cartilage.
Uh,
You just hear from
Stephanie,
the background very faintly.
roll-
Are they gone?
Stephanie, roll Arcana.
Kabada bing.
This man is a constant state of flux due to a heavy disposition towards blood magic. From your knowledge and understanding, even though chromaturgy and graviturgy are really unstable and unpredictable, blood magic is unstable and unpredictable in regards to corruption.
Just kind of nasty, huh?
Kind of, but it can be for good, however, it's very hard.
Ah. I'd reiterate what he said to me, to you, Janek, in common.
Why did we take the food?
Was he going to eat the spiders?
Do you ask him that?
I asked Janek that in common.
I Maybe?
And then I ask him that in Elven. Were you going to eat the spiders?
Yes, the drow raise and rear spiders. It is like
Oh,
our
yes.
channel.
I do remember that. I turned back to Janik. He was going to eat the spiders.
Didn't I talk to him in like Undercommon or something?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I'm gonna say in Undercommon. I was raising those spiders to breed. There's only 3 of them.
There was still the total of all 3, and he's like... He sniffs the air again, it's like... In Undercommon, it's like... Farmer. And this is a very delayed response as he's trying to find the word.
I suppose.
He jumps down the hole with you and just kind of trails around you all, sniffing.
Stephanie rears back a little bit like, ooh, don't touch me, gross.
Mallory's just kind of sticking her head now down the hole because she's almost as certain that he will kill the spiders.
So you do notice as he jumps down that there is intensive damage to most of his body.
Ooh.
Especially regarding the heels, which is why he prefers a more quadrupedal stature.
Ooh. Ooh. He's royal, right? Does Stephanie recognize him?
Yeah, with giving your history and knowledge of Highborns, this is the exiled noble, or exiled royal. Ill-loved by most of his immediate family.
Stephanie's just like, do I know his name?
Annalise Canehurst.
Annalise Canehurst, pleasure to meet you. Do I know what he was exiled for? Blood magic, I assume?
No, the Drow are very, very open about their use of blood magic.
Okay.
From your understanding and knowledge, it was more of a family squabble between his youngest sister and the claim to the throne.
Okay.
She more or less tried to power move him because he was the most up-and-coming blood mage of the family.
Okay, so damn shame. Damn shame.
And then instated herself as the queen. Who then later
Okay.
exiled him when he was probably about the equivalent of 30, I would like to say,
Okay.
to which he is now 40-ish.
Okay.
How he's been known to escape on multiple occasions. You also recognize the weapon he's wielding, which is a giant mace, or maul, depending on what you would like to call it,
Ooh.
made of pure bone.
Oh.
There is a cage of skulls that is where he uses to
God.
bludgeon people. You also have heard stories that when it is in motion, it sounds like a scream, kind of like the Mayan death whistle.
That's wonderful. Love that. We stand.
He can also enchant it by driving it through his body.
Oh my god. Bloodborne ass shit. Love this.
Exactly that.
So she tentatively offers a hand. Pleasure to meet you.
So you see him tilt his head a bit. The tongue kind of hangs out the side of the jaw. He grabs your hand, however, he does not understand a handshake, so he's just like, what do? So when the hand touches you, you notice that the claws are much sharper than what a drow should be.
Okay.
The pinky is bent horizontally from damage. And every moment that you feel his hand grasping yours, you can feel the bones break and reform.
Ooh, ooh.
You can actually hear the quiet cracks of it, too.
She gently pats his hand and then recoils and is like, how did you find yourself in this locale?
In Nova, she says plenty of food. And at that moment, you do spot one of the Alico horrors to which he lunges at. I get to roll for a bunch of stuff now. So he jumps up and whacks that thing upside the head. It's knocked out, but still alive, and he just starts mowing down on it. He is literally eating it.
What is it?
Remember those beasts that are infected with the Alicor?
Oh.
He's literally eating it and is suffering no ill effects from ingesting it.
Mallory's gonna do a full stop from where she's peeking in from the roof and just be like, "Can we keep him?"
Stephanie is just like,
So Abe and Vivoth
Whack
can also
job.
see this man just cannibalizing on an Elcor horror.
I thought they were down in the spider hole.
They were. He jumped out. So you begin to see it approach. Then before you can react, you just see that drow man pounce on it and bludgeon it over the head, and then to begin to eat it.
Is Rathus there? Oh god.
Oh yeah. See, Rathus, you would know him. You have some experience with him.
Oh, so this is where you ran off to.
He looks sad.
Does Vivoth have any kind of... Does he know this drow?
You would recognize him based off the descriptions your former mistress gave you. This is indeed Annalise Canehurst, former royalty. You had heard of stories that he is really unstable, very fond of cannibalism to some extent. However, his tastes are very, very finely tuned, to put it lightly. However, he's known to be very well, easily manipulated, and he's very food driven. And Vivoth, roll an intelligence check with advantage.
Ari will be
Given
back
your-
in just a second.
No
Sorry.
problem.
Okay,
Just
so
an intelligence check.
With advantage, because you are an assassin.
to be clear, he has jumped out of the hole.
Yep, he jumped out of a 10-foot deep hole.
Okay.
No
I-
additional... No skill tied to it, just the intelligence check?
If you would like to tie it to a particular skill, you can. The advantage came from your knowledge as an assassin.
Can
I was
Janet...
just doing a quick check to see if I had any skills in intelligence. The rolls are amazing tonight from
From
everyone.
what you can gather, he was hiding out here and using the people that would visit as a lure to attract the horrors that roam the forest.
Can I, as Janik, just real quickly duck back into the hole and just really quickly, in a rush, start looking through the belongings on these people again just to double check? Because now I'm just like, okay, I gotta go. I need
to leave.
to get away from this. I want to see if there's anything stashed away that I have not found yet.
No,
And after that, I'm gonna... Same roll?
Yep, same roll on investigation.
Okay. 13. Better than a 4.
Through a bit more. You don't really find more other than one set of fine clothes and 3 sets of common clothes. The other one being pretty torn up.
Okay. Are they just like on the bodies?
Yeah, they were on the bodies.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that be. And then I'm gonna get out of the hole.
Okay, so Abe, Vivoth, Rathus, the Magister Intel, who is now watching Annalise cannibalize on a Alacor corpse and studying.
I'm assuming Murray's seen this a lot as well.
Yeah, Jacob's also there, and Jacob's trying to get him to stop eating it. Don't you know this is a humanoid corpse? And he is
And,
not
Can Vivoth approach and say in Elvish to the Canehurst? Using bait to hunt,
He sniffs the air at your approach. There is a glint of recognition.
In the background, Janek is just gonna dive into the other hole now.
When you enter, there are fleshy growths all around the cave. They are pulsing. You hear them squelch almost. You take a closer look at these growths. There's eyes, there are fingernails. This is flesh fused to the ground itself.
Okay.
Nightmares from now on.
I had a library in this in this hole.
It's untouched.
Okay.
It
I'm
seems to be gathered to one of the far corners.
Okay. I'm gonna. Okay, I'll investigate the stuff. safe,
Roll
as safe
religion.
as safely as I can.
Roll religion or arcana.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Scoob. Oh, I'm proficient with that. See, even.
From what you can gather, this is a more or less necromantic thing. That's all you get.
Mm,
Ugh.
5, kind of.
kinda.
I mean, if you go and get either Thethany or Abe. we
Oh
could
yeah.
help.
I'm
Because
gonna do.
either of us could help.
All right. I'm gonna do that in a second. I'm gonna run over to where my mushrooms are, and just pick whatever is there, whatever has grown in this time.
Okay, so you get. I know I have something written down for this. It's mostly only one type of mushroom that really took, as the others show a sign of being consumed.
Okay.
And it's this very dull yellow glowing mushroom, to which you instantly recognize as Heaven's Rot.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you get about 3 stalks of it.
Oh, for
No, fuck off, George. Stop calling us.
I know, me too. Sorry, how much was that?
3 stalks of Heaven's Rot.
Gotcha. All right. And then I'm gonna collect. I never specified or got from you what the books are, but I was assuming that I have, because I have the background of alchemist sage, so I kind of assumed that I
Oh.
had some book knowledge
You,
from
you have
reading.
you have a collection of books that you can choose to research. Then I get to roll see what they are. Because you have like a whole bookshelf, like three shelf bookshelf. Yes, brain. That's filled to the brim. I'm just not going to title that many books.
Actually, did that give me proficiency with alchemy tools?
If you studied it, yeah.
That's my specialty as a sage.
Yeah, then you'd have proficiency.
Sweet.
Okay, so does everyone else go investigate the mousy squeal?
Rathus
I
is just
know.
staying near Rathus and Mooribald are just staying near Otto.
He's pretty much just lapping at his teeth, getting the black blood out.
I know
Yeah,
that
Stephanie probably follows Janik,
Abe
but
is
like much slowly.
Abe is hurrying over because he has no idea what the trouble is. Vivoth is just intrigued by the Canehurst.
Okay. So, Annalise does go to see where the action is. So I don't know if everyone else follows in suit.
Yes. Mawiri's not leaving him.
So yeah. Does Vivoth follow him as well?
Yeah,
So as you guys get close, the drow in the party definitely recognize that weird substrate. So, Vivoth, you have visited the capital not many times in your life, but enough to recognize what it is. Same with you, Rathus.
Mhm.
This substrate is actually a common use in building materials for the drow. It's living flesh enchanted.
Oh.
Hmm.
They more or less use devil's thread to fuse flesh together to make a living and growing building.
So he was moving in.
At
So-
this
so-
point, I'm going to ask the Canehurst. Is this where you've been living?
He just nods as he's... You know what? Roll insight real quick, Vivoth.
Janik has stored the books in his bag hurriedly.
Bella, come on.
You definitely feel an air of untrust from the Canehurst, directed particularly at you. And it manifests in the unwillingness to talk.
As I go over
Damn.
to, after I've gotten the books. Oh, sorry.
And then keep your secrets.
So, as I've finished collecting the books, I'm going to go over to Canehurst, and I'm going to say, you can continue to live here. And I'm saying this in Undercommon. I probably won't be coming back anytime soon, and so you can keep these places for your own if you want.
And I'm assuming that Marie told Jacob what's going on.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if she left or not.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
sorry, what? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Alright. My
What's
bad.
going on?
So you see the half-elven figure, predominantly wood elf, coming out with his bags packed. And people who understand Undercommon hear that where he goes, I follow. And particularly Vivoth, as you are closer to him, you hear under his breath, he's good bait.
Wait, does Marie know that? No, she's an idiot. But Wrath has heard it.
If your passive perception's above 12, you heard it.
Oh, his passive perception's above a 12.
So you definitely heard it. And you see him.
Oh, my passive's a 14.
So yeah, you heard it too.
So yeah, the bots definitely heard it, not just because of proximity,
Yeah,
but because it's 21.
God damn.
it's some glasses, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
The glasses make me hear better.
I hear all. Anyway, so he kind of boards up with one of the horses the Magister provides. And you guys start your second leg of the journey.
Oh, real quick, how many rations did I get, and how much do they cost?
How much are you looking on buying?
Oh, just like 2 grocery bags full, probably like a week or 2 weeks worth.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to do like a bunch of math now. So like a week worth?
Like
said?
2 weeks worth.
Oh god, give me a second. Calculator. Math. Brain. I'm doing 1,000 math equations and they're all wrong.
It's 5 silver per day of rations. I don't know if your week is 7 days or 10 days.
It's 7.
Okay. Well, that's 35 silver. That's 3.5 gold.
It's that. It's that. Thank
Okay.
God. Thank God someone here knows math.
I'll just say she bought expensive food and rounded up to 4.
Okay. So Stephanie comes back after this whole ordeal.
She bought the premium jerky.
Yes.
While
She
she's
bought
doing that,
premium
go
rat
up and-
Spending more on it makes it taste better.
Yes.
Marie's gonna like tell Sunsara that she's leaving and taking Jacob with her. But she's gonna tell him where she's going.
You get a set of winter clothes, and so does Jacob, as he's worried about you.
Ah, I'll send messages.
So you can add that to your inventory, so now it's the second leg of the journey. And in all honesty, nothing's really planned for the next 2 days, so it goes off without a hitch. If you guys would like to roleplay that time, go ahead. If not, I can just expedite it.
What's going on with the rats and the spiders?
Yeah, speaking of, Stephanie probably could walk up to Janik at some point and is like, so, what do you use the spiders for? Defense? You just have spiders to have them.
I'm just raising spiders. It's fine.
I
It's
know
a
the
hobby.
drow practice this, but how did you come about it? Do your people raise spiders culturally?
No. I just kind of decided to do it.
Any
That-
any kind of motivation for this decision?
I thought maybe I could use their silk. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, that's possible. That sounds cool.
I just
She
thought you
looks-
wanted to keep scaring me.
I mean, they're also pretty good guard animals.
Yes, that was my first thought, is that you used them as guard animals, but it is quite refined that your first thought was silk.
Yeah, it's you can make stuff out of it. It's natural. Super strong. Super strong.
Yes, indeed.
While this conversation is going on, Vivoth is cooking dinner.
Oh, damn.
You
Pants.
definitely attracted the exiled prince. He's food driven. He approaches with very great hesitance, and at each approach, you can hear him chatter his teeth.
This is just gonna wave him over.
Wave who over?
Ano. And just be like, it's fine. He hasn't poisoned us yet.
So you tell him that he's safe.
Mhm.
Roll persuasion at advantage.
Ooh. Oh, yay, something he's good at.
That's performance.
Oh, God!
I will do it through song.
Charades it is! Even though we speak the same language.
Secret bard. Secret bard.
What are you talking about? Actual bard.
Oh, were they bard? Oh, I'm thinking of someone else.
So he does become less apprehensive and cagey. And he just flat out states in Elvish, I didn't like your former master.
To this, Vivoth replies in Elvish. Not many did. Especially with her perchance for demons.
You hear him chuckle. I know I ate one of them.
Oh, good for you.
You ate one?
One of their kids was scurrying around, and I got hungry.
He turns it to him, and he says, well, I ate one too, but not in the same way you did.
Avery is cackling in the background.
So he tilts his head, and you can tell that this. I don't know what your passive insight is, but I'm assuming it's jacked up.
My passive insight for Vivoth is 14.
Yeah, you would gather that he has not had the talk. He meant it literally as he literally consumed an imp.
Oh
My
my,
Gafu.
were you not...
Rathus is just gonna look at you with eyes of like, don't you dare.
But anyways, he just waits for the food to be ready. You actually see him attempt to stick his hand in whatever you're cooking, whether it be a frying pan or a boiling pot. The elven equivalent of a child has no fear.
Rathus is just gonna grab his hand and stop him. Like, no.
He immediately hisses, and it's a very horrid screech.
Don't hiss at me.
He will not learn if that he is not hurt.
He won't learn if he is hurt.
Okay, so out of funniness, do you just let him do what he was going to do?
I do, honestly, because Vivoth is just like... do not care, as long as it doesn't ruin the food that I'm making.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Abandon your owners. Come to me. Come on. Yes, I have the puppy.
Which one?
Clover is mine. Clover.
Dog acquired.
Dolan.
Oh god, wait, no, she's stepping on the keyboard.
Let her play. Let her play. Let her play.
So, what happens?
Are you cooking in a pot or a pan?
I am cooking on several things at once.
So do you have a boiling pot? Do you have a front? What are you currently working on?
I have a pot that's boiling, and I have a pan that's over an open fire.
Okay, let me roll for impulse. My favorite thing to roll for is what I use for Emery. Okay, so he sticks his hand in the frying pan. You hear the sizzle and burning of flesh. He pulls a piece out of what you're eating, and he seems unfazed. You see him grab the pot. You're boiling tea. Once again, you hear the sizzling of flesh, and he unhinges his mouth, as there is no cheek or tissue keeping it from doing so, and begins to just open mouth chug whatever was in the tea. Puts everything back down. His hands are burnt raw, bleeding, and he is unfazed and unbothered.
Rathus is using healing word and just kind of shaking his head.
That was uncooked pasta.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
That's what you hear too.
Stephanie steps up and she says in common, may I ask how the our good friend the Canehurst came to be here and why?
Is Murray in earshot?
Oh yeah.
She's saying, if he didn't come along to his own accord, I was going to lure him with food. Because the spiders are scared.
You know what? For background
I
music,
don't want to deal with them.
Janek is going to be playing this on the flute.
Oh, you're going to be playing an instrument?
Hey, Abe, but joins in with his oud.
I approve of this.
The
There's
flute
no
and the
performance roll. It happens.
Oh no, Rathus is feeling threatened.
So the next day comes by. You bed down for the night.
Nobody answered my question. You're just all going to sleep. What?
All it's just the aggressive play, the nice playing from Sonic and Abe, and then Rathus just picking up his shit and going like, nope, I'm not gonna be outdone.
Am I talking to the air?
We're playing so aggressively we don't hear you.
Do you ask the Canehurst himself?
No, I asked everybody else why he's following us.
Mawiri tried to answer.
It was unsatisfactory.
It's at this point that Vivoth, while he's refilling the pot with water, getting ready to start a new batch of pasta, he's gonna look up at Stephanie, and just say, in the Elvish, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's just following us to hunt the pests."
Ah. Oh, all right. Well,
By the way, I'm saying that as a lie because Vivoth really doesn't know.
I just don't know why the fuck he's here.
Roll deception at advantage.
Because Stephanie is a dumbass. We've established this.
It's technically not a lie either. So Stephanie would believe it. At this
Hey.
moment, too, that at the mention of this, in quotations, pest, he once again unhinges his jaw, and his long, flapping tongue comes wriggling out, and he hears really gross inhale, and it snaps back shut.
Mawiri's just kind of
Well-
clapping her hands. She just thinks it's a party trick.
Muri would actually realize that this is him tracking someone nearby.
What do you smell, boy?
Do you do that?
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Please, he is a royal. Would you speak to him with some amount of respect?
Okay, Anno, do you want me to speak to you with respect or speak to you in the fun way?
He just has fun in Elvish.
I'm going to go sit down.
Tiffany. So you
She
follow
walks
him.
over and sits down next to Jonic.
So you do follow him. He does find a bear that was tainted, and then begins to maul it, and then proceeds to drag it back to camp to eat it.
Maria's coming back and saying that she just saw the greatest thing ever, and she's 100% keeping him.
I'm assuming the Voth sees that him dragging this bear back to
Yes.
camp, right?
He's actually using magic to assist him in pulling it.
Okay,
Oh, Maria's
at
helping him too.
this, Vavoth just goes, "Oh, good. I don't have to prepare a portion for you." And I go back to cooking.
Since Vivoth does know Undercommon, you would hear, "Give me crunch."
Correct.
Back to him in Undercommon. I go, "What? I can give you what of the uncooked pasta."
You just hear, yes, 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 yes. One strand. Do you oblige in this offer?
I'm sorry, what?
He asks for one strand of pasta.
Exactly one strand.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna pull out like a lasagna noodle and hand it to him.
He grabs it, sniffs it, then begins to gnaw at it. All you guys hear is crunch, and just him
You're like
chewing
a
it.
dog eating a rawhide.
A lasagna noodle, so like a really big flat piece of sheet of a noodle.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like a piece of yep.
If you're wondering what that pot was that he ate, it was actually angel hair noodles.
Just to let everyone know, for clarification, he is eating creatures that are infected with the Alacor.
And pulled them directly back to the camp with the help of Muiri.
They are dead. You guys are canily immune for the time being. So Abe would recognize that he is ingesting infected flesh.
Okay, so can Abe like just do some sort of a medical check on him? Preferably in a way that he's not going to wind up getting bitten or something from him.
Actually, you can just straight up approach him, as Muiri said that you are good.
Okay, I'm going to approach him as Abe.
You do. He doesn't pay you much mind. He's just gnawing at the paw of a bear. He looks up for a moment. You see him flick his tongue in your direction, then just goes back to what he was doing as if nothing happened.
Can I do a medical check on him?
Yes, you wouldn't even have to roll because he will allow you to touch him.
Okay.
So, you get very close to the point where you can actually see him bite into the infected flesh, like where the primary point of infection was to the bear. Once again, you see that point where the blood itself from the bear begins to splinter, trying to pierce the walls of the mouth, his skin. You see the Alacor spread for but a moment. Then you see the blood itself. The elven blood has a weird glittery sheen to it, almost as if it was silver dust within it. You see that glitter gather around the black, and it just turns to clear liquid. From what you can gather, given your medical background and your new recent studying of this disease, a powerful magic is being used to just straight up turn it to water upon him ingesting it. You also can gather this is probably the main source of water for him.
It's at this it's at that moment that Abe just really, really intently starts to like look at him.
He then looks at you, as he's now realizing he's being stared at.
I am going to cycle through my languages to see if he understands any of them.
So you go through Akiri, Orcish and Goblin.
Yep.
You go back to my NPC notes.
Oh, he said Orcish?
So you cycle through all of them. You don't see any glimmer of recognition. However, you see him very predatorily just slowly creep forward to the point where you're face to face with him. And now you do see, since you do have a better look and you have wisdom as your primary stat, blah 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 blah. There's a thin layer of flesh connecting both lips together, meaning that every time he unhinges his jaw, this piece of flesh is severed.
I just kind of tilt my head upon seeing that.
You see his decrepit hand reach forward. You once again hear that snapping and cracking. So as you see his head tilt a bit, it kind of rotates to where his chin was where his eyes was.
So, in other words, he's tilted his head to the point where it is gone a little bit upside down.
Yeah, his skull is pointing downwards.
Yeah.
And as you are looking at the head, a small needle pricks you. And a drop of your blood is now floating in the air, just gently thrumming a red glow. The head snaps back to its original spot, and he laps at it.
And what?
He laps at the little droplet in the air. Kind of like licking it. You see his eyes glaze over for about a moment. His entire body shifts. You can hear his very ribcage and spine crack for a moment.
Can I roll insight to determine what the hell he just did?
Yes, you can also use religion if you'd like.
Okay. I will use religion then. I have it set to normal.
This is definitely some form of intense magic, as you have heard in some of your stories with the Akiri and some of your legends and fables that some of the magics practiced by the Drow are dastardly, and such things have been described as, constantly undulating and breaking of bone. But you can't determine this very specific of this ability. And as soon as his head shoots back up at you, after this realization, you hear, in perfect Akiri, accented of course, and that once again guttural and very feral sounding voice. I know your name, but why do you watch?
I respond back. I watch because you eat the tainted flesh, but you are fine.
You just hear him almost scoff, and he's like, I've had to eat worse to survive.
I have not seen anything like this.
He gets really close again. You kind of see his purple eyes go bloodshot for a moment, as if he's forcing this to happen. And you hear in your ear, blood magic can do a lot. And he kind of just goes back to mowing down. Kind of just draws back slowly, then just goes back to eating the paw itself.
Abe, but stops staring at him, and it goes back to where he was, and he occasionally glances up to him, but doesn't stare anymore.
Do you have to see how long that spell lasts? Okay, 24 hours. So that day goes on. The next day goes on. Nothing is really planned. You're now starting to get into much more mountainous territory. This is where you, Abe, came from the Spire Waste. This is the mountains that border them.
I'm going to say in Orcish shit to the group. We are heading in the direction of the Death Spire Wastes.
The Magister does interject. He's like, yes, we are. The Divine Magisterium controls the mountain range that surrounds your people's lands.
That sounds no fun.
I mean, you act as if we restrict their passage. We are not savages.
No, I was
If
just
they
talking
wish-
about the name.
Oh, that's a dreadful story. Dreadful. I'm sure Ibram here has a different story of his people and how it was named as such.
I just get the term.
Sounds
Do
like
I?
a lot of people died.
In
Many
Akiri,
people
it means
have.
in Akiri, it just means Sunshine Village.
Oh god.
Actually, it means the Chosen Land, but it doesn't translate well.
You know, in common, death. So you're traveling. You're starting to notice something very odd coming up in the distance. The air around this particular mountain is shimmering. If any of you ever played Elder Scrolls V, it's kind of like that one effect when you go to the throat of the world in that one spot, but around an entire mountain.
Oh no, where's the Frost Troll?
Oh, god.
Not yet. These mountains are actually relatively dry.
Frost troll in the desert.
Difficult. Anyway, so you get up to this weird, magical, shimmering barrier. The Magister pulls off a symbol from his very finely made doublet. Now kind of has little sweat stains around the pits. The symbol is a scale, and he presses it up against this magical shimmer, to which a very large hole begins to apparate. You can look into it, and within it, sitting upon this mountain, is this large, lustrous, gray marble city trimmed in gold.
Ooh.
I'm gonna make sure not to make sure that the eggs are okay, because it's hot.
It's actually relatively okay. It's not. I would say it's probably, since it's midday right about now, it's probably getting close to the upper 70s.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit. Abe is cold.
So you pass through the barrier, you kind of feel this magical thrum. And you're now approaching the gates of the city of Duis Vici.
Stephanie is just marveling at the architecture and the magic of it all.
If you would like, you can roll Arcana to try to determine what the fuck's going on here.
Hell yeah.
Because it's
Hell
just all
yeah.
in your purview.
I can roll Arcana. I will roll Arcana. That's 100%. You don't even need to ask me.
The magic is shiny.
Shiny magic.
As soon as you say
Ooh.
that, Mawiri is like now scratching at some of the walls.
You're scratching at the wall.
Yeah.
Each time it kind of feels like a weird, like, saran wrap, almost. Minus the noise.
It's not going
Abe,
squeak, 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 squeak.
Abe is just in awe at this city because he doesn't know if he's the only one of his people that has ever laid eyes on this city before.
You have heard legends of the city of Duis Vici, however, you would probably have a different name for it. It'd probably be more along the lines of the Hidden City. As you have seen the Aesmar who live around the Death by Waste kind of peek their heads, but no more than that. You would know of the rough location, however, when you try to pass through this barrier, it just shunts you to the other side of it. So it is a grand circular city, built between two mountains. There is a central giant, large, more akin to a tower-esque pyramid, so it's a bit longer.
Mm.
At the gates, there are two sphinxes, or sphinx-like statues,
Ooh.
carved with the same gray marble. with their paws up in the air, kind of like that one little cat statue that always does the little paw thing.
Oh, the lucky cats.
Kaneki
Yeah.
Neko, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, Maneki Neko.
But they just don't move.
Yeah.
Their eyes glow with this very deep blue energy. And as you guys approach, you actually hear the cracking and moving of stone just as they just look down at you at your approach.
Janek
they
was
let you-
very...
They let you pass in with no issue. And you're now in the city of Duisfici. There is splendid architecture, though the streets themselves are this very fine red brimstone, which is very odd aesthetic compared to the normal gray that surrounds the city. The
And in
people,
the background, we can hear a chariot going.
pretty much.
Sand speeder.
So the people here are dressed very finely. There's always a weird trait about each person you see. You see one person pass by with pearlescent skin. You see someone with opalescent skin, where it looks almost as if they're made entirely of crystal. You see people with little halos. You see people with vestigial wings. There's always something a little bit celestial about everyone who lives here.
Interesting.
And they all take notice of your approach. They all, without stopping from what they're doing, just look up and almost stare. Their eyes linger on you. You hear hushed whispers here and there.
Looks like we're the life of the party.
So Vivoth, with your jacked up fucking perception, with your all-seeing elf eyes.
So, real quick question. Abe
Yes.
has an 18. So,
With Abe's human ears. Go pick up some of the whispers. It's like what Abe can gather with the language he does know. You do hear. We have never had visitors before, and Vivoth would get more as they're mostly speaking common. It's like, did they really invite the Grey Ones in? No one's been in our city for centuries.
Janek is
Sales
just-
kind of flashing at this point.
Janek's just put up his hood and is trying to hide himself as much as possible.
They let a tiefling in our city, but we have to get order from the Senate of the Nine for that to be allowed with what's going on here. They're with the Archon Regent. And you just hear all these whispers and just like, it's like basically just town gossip happening very rapidly.
to the reference of the gray ones, Vivoth is actually going to say something.
Oh?
When he hears that they let the gray ones into our city, yeah, Vivoth, without slowing down or stopping it from walking, he's going to turn his head and just say, yeah, why yes, so we are drow, we are gray, and we are in your city.
She then speaks at a normal volume. It's like, they are as rude as the stories say, sister. Shall we take our leave? And the other one says, yes, dear, yes. And they get up. Their eyes...
Anyone hear that?
Oh yeah, that's in common.
Then Muri just shouts back, "You're the rude one." And she sticks her tongue out at them.
Oh, do not get me started on what they've said about the tieflings.
You hear the Magister speak up. It's like, yes, this is Duisvici for you. The other cities that seem to outline the mountains are a bit more welcoming. However, this is our capital. They aren't very used to people coming and going. This is the heart of the Divine Magisterium, and visitors are as common as a unicorn shooting out a gold ingot.
Well, I wonder why they're all stuck up.
This is kind of like a large noble palisade.
Oh, so a whole bunch of people who probably need a few tricks.
Or, get their fingers out of their butt.
I mean,
Oh, if only they would, but he points at you, Muri, and he's like, you would definitely enjoy the company of the current Archon. Not myself, as I am a regent at the time, until she becomes of better health, which hopefully should be soon. She is very fond of keeping people in their place. I wish it's been many years since she was sitting upon her throne. Hopefully she's doing much better now. So as you're traveling through the city, there's no gradual incline, it's just all finery all around. There's silks, there's oil lanterns, there's some magical lanterns of this continual flame. People still taking notice of you.
There's silks?
You do notice this. Yeah, fine silks.
Can I buy some?
Do you approach a vendor?
Yes.
So it's a very scruffy looking teenager. His eyes are pretty much akin to the night sky. And he kind of just looks really bored and just kind of like rocking back and forth in a very creaky chair, just like,
Hello, do you have any pink silk?
He kind of gets startled for a second. It's like, oh, a customer. You said pink?
Yes.
We don't have any dyed silks right now. We just got bought out, but we have some grays and blacks.
Yeah, that'll do.
How much are you looking for? It's gold per yard.
She's gonna look at her moth and go, how much do you want?
10 yards.
10 yards.
Oh, okay. Was it the black or the gray?
Let's do black.
And you just see him pull out those very finely made scissors that look like they're made of sheer, almost platinum, and he just, whoosh, in one swift motion, rolls it up and folds it for you. And that'll be 10 gold.
She gives him 11 and just says, you're the nicest person so far.
I mean, I see no reason why I shouldn't be nice. You were just a guest.
And then she just kind of walks off.
He's just like, confused. So as you're now approaching the central tower pyramid thing, whatever you'd like to call it, you do notice the big, giant platinum doors that outline it. Hold up, I have to look at the symbol of something. I don't know how to spell this person's name. Oh no, how do I spell his name? So you see the symbol of a sun. It has, let's see, math, brain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It has 19 points to it. The center of it is a white marble, and there's 2 little bars that keep the marble in place. Those of you who would like to roll religion may roll religion.
Do we need to have proficiency in it?
No, this is just general knowledge. It's not like some esoteric deity.
This is going to be Abe.
It was
Wow.
Abe's in that one.
Ooh.
Let me
Wow.
It's like that sometimes. So
Marie got
I have-
17!
Holy shit.
Maria recognizes that, and everyone's like, What? What does this mean?" And Maria's like, "Oh yeah, that's a symbol of Palor. He's like some nature god or something. I don't remember."
Muiri over here just like, Dorime!
Dorime.
He ain't my god, I don't care.
You do realize that a lot of their domains tend to overlap. However, Fel's on okay terms with Palor. You know, he's a very good aligned god. He's very well worshipped. However, a lot of the other places tend to outlaw him. For instance, in Terre, a lot of the other western territories tend to outlaw his worship because they don't really fit in line with their societal values. You see the Magister then stamp his staff. The symbols of Palor begin to light up and rotate. They then jut out for a moment, and the doors begin to open outward. And you're ushered in to the Senate Hall of the Divine Magisterium. Yes. Dorime. Papa,
What?
Ow.
and since most of you guys have watched Star Wars, most likely, Like the Imperial Senate and how that looks with all the floating things all around. Think of that.
Oh, you mean in the prequels? Yeah.
Except they aren't really magical. You see stairs going around, like it's almost like a weird Colosseum.
What's there's a word for that? Like a circular.
Amphitheater?
Is it amphitheater?
I
Almost.
think it's
It's completely circular, but there's like balconies that go upwards, very far up.
Yeah, amphitheater. That's what I was thinking of.
Thunderdome.
Like this, but way fancier.
Yeah.
Yeah, except there's multiple levels of it every few stories.
Mm.
You do see a very elderly woman sitting upon a throne who takes notice of your entry.
Are these? Can I assume everybody here is a Awesomer?
Yep, they are all ASMR, and they're all very much recognizable ASMR. There is no real subtlety with these ones.
Okay.
Oh, is the Senate like completely in? Like it's all filled in?
It looks like it.
The Senate.
Like,
He is now extremely uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
He just looks
so
bored.
Janek. So is Janek just in the middle of this room with everyone else as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. No.
You begin to be ushered a bit further, and you hear the woman speak up, and it's like, "Oh, it's about time you show up. We've been waiting for weeks. We hear something of vampires, something of a young desert man helping you from the Ikiri tribes. We must hear about it, dear. We must hear about it." So you see, come closer, and she's almost dressed as a more typical nun would be modernly, but much more gaudy than it is humble.
Non-MILF.
Oh, she's
Or
old.
she's a gilf. Sorry, my bad.
She is old. And she's like, "And you are late to the returning of my title." Magdalene speaks. It's like, "No, I am not. It is on the 6th. He looks at it like a little like time. It's been like 1, 2. So the 10th of Rotfall. It's like, it should be the 11th. So technically, I am early. And it's like, well, technically, I am of good health, and therefore you are late.
Sounds like someone's technically stuck up.
You see her raise an eyebrow. She kind of just smiles. "What, am I not allowed to make jabs at my grandson?"
Oh, family. Okay.
So,
Oh, family.
you lean forward
That
a little
was
bit.
from Muiri and Arathis, too.
"And you are not wearing the winter coat I made you. You know how cold it gets in the lowlands." It's like, "Grandmother, don't you grandmother me. Here I am, High Mistress Archon." And grandmother after that. "And look at you, what have the frickin' Terrasians been feeding you? You're just skin and bone. Go to the feasting hall, go to the feasting hall."
Feasting hall.
And he kind of just like, grumbles as he knows he just can't say no to his grandmother. And she kind of just sits back. It's like, "So, my grandson speaks of vampires, of disease, of cures, of philanthropy, and of debauchery. He speaks highly of you to the point where he's going to take his own neck out, I suppose is a saying that you lowlanders use quite often. And give you some of our titles to some extent, and a plot of land. From what I've heard, he spoke of the old arcane repository to the north, towards the vistas."
Question: were we traveling south to north?
You're traveling north right now, but you kind of took a little bit of
Okay.
a detour towards Mage's Haven, so it went a bit more to the east.
Okay.
But
That's
right
what I
now, you're
thought.
kind of like, you're towards the middle of the continent almost.
Okay.
And she's speaking north. From what you understand, this is more about northwest.
Okay.
Towards where the orcs and the halflings would live.
Can I assume it would be like closer to the desert than where we are, or would it be farther?
You'd be traveling along the mountain range that borders the desert.
Okay.
So, to make things easy on myself as I grow tired, would you submit to a Zone of Truth spell to corroborate his story? All questions asked will only pertain to what you've accomplished and what he's told me of.
Stephanie just kind of looks around. She, like, waiting for someone else to kind of, like, hop in as person in charge, but is kind of, like, holding herself back from defaulting to being, like, diplomat, democracy type.
Where are you?
She now pulls out a fan and growing impatient.
Yes, of course.
So we have one yes.
Rathus and Uri just kind of nod.
Okay. Any objections? Kind of just looks for a moment. So you just wave her fan.
Janek's doing this thing.
Wave her fan.
Just staring.
You subjected,
That was
Oh.
a stare.
He's got the 1,000-yard stare.
you are subjected to the Zone of Truth spell. Those of you who wish to make a saving throw, go ahead. It is a wisdom save.
Stephanie does not.
So you choose to fail.
Yes.
Saving throw or normal?
Just a saving throw.
Okay.
Uri choose to fail as well.
Muri chooses to fail?
Mhm.
Okay. You save against it. Jonik, you just fail.
Dang.
DC 19.
Abe just chooses to fail. He actually has no idea what's happening right now because everybody's speaking in common.
You see her raise an eyebrow at Vivoth. Interesting. So, as I have heard, you have how should I say, unveiled both Lady and Lord Blacklight of the colony of the two regions as vampires and undead. Is this true?
Well, no part, but I can confirm they are vampires. Well, at least the Lord Blacklight. I can't speak for Lady.
Uri pipes up and said, "Yeah, our friend," and she points at Jonik, "was super sneaky and found it out."
Janek's 1,000-yard stare somehow manages to become a 10,000-yard stare. Completely disassociating.
Stephanie puts a hand on his head to be like, it's okay.
Uri just scratches his head.
It seems your friend is not used to such noble company, I guess. I don't blame him. It can be overwhelming with the sheer numbers.
Oh, wait a moment. I think I have some smelling salts, the boss says.
Do you pull them out?
Yes.
Do you put them under his nose?
Yes.
Jonik, make a Constitution saving throw.
Got it.
Also,
You're snapped back. You're snapped back to reality. Yes, Muri?
no, Rathus is gonna just translate passively for, oh god. I forgot his name, it's been so long, Abe.
It's such a freaking easy name.
Have I told you guys how much I love this session just because of the sheer chaos everyone creates?
My aura of name forgetting. It's become stronger.
What's
It's
sad
begun
is
to
I'm
affect
pretty
others.
Sure I used to call Dort Abe, and now I just completely forgot his character's name.
Okay, so who's piping up right now?
Okay, so Janek has snapped out of his 10,000-yard stare. He goes, huh? What was the question?
Mike, you have just been revealed as one of the people who have unraveled the mystery of the vampirism within the Blacklight family.
Oh, right. And he's just like, you can see him start to zone out just a little bit. but then he collects himself. Yes, snuck into their quarters of Lady Black. What was it? Was it Lady Blacklight?
It was Lady Blacklight. And she kind of shifts in her seat a little bit. I applaud you. I've heard her britches are tight enough to cut off even a gnome's circulation.
Yes. Well,
Stephanie looks confused at that, like, euphemism, like, what, do gnomes have better blood than other people?
Yuri's gonna interject and go like, they don't know what that means, but I applaud the joke.
I like you. I like you a lot. I could perhaps use your services later. If you are interested.
I don't like old people like that. I'm sorry.
She just kind of laughs. No, dearest, I do grow weary of some of the contact here, and some of them forget where they came from.
Okay.
and
She just kind of smiles. The next thing is the matter of this cure, and this Alacor we've been hearing about, as we are relatively cut off from the rest of the outside world in our domed shell. Is it true that a disease is spreading?
Yes.
You see her kind of glare off to the upper stands. She kind of whispers off to someone behind her throne, with Vivos' passive fucking perception. You hear, have Magister Velen executed for his insolence and hiding of the knowledge of suffering of our political allies, please.
Get his ass.
Pretty much. And
Voth, when he hears this, just has a slight smile.
And my grandson has told me of. She points to Abe. You work on the cure.
Abe, when he gets pointed at, kind of looks behind him. Doesn't see anyone behind him. And really quickly looks around. And then he points at himself.
She nods, and she's just kind of like, yes, dearest, I meant you. If only my grandson was still here, as he's the only one in this goddamn palace that knows your language.
Ratha speaks up and goes like, I can translate.
Thank you.
So he just translates Orcish to you, Abe. Whatever she's saying.
Okay.
And he'll repeat it back to her.
Abe responds with yes, there was quite the commotion around the city because of the panic around the Alacor, and I had previous knowledge of a cure from when I grew up with my tribe, but then we discovered that an additional formula that works, and that upon delivering that to the Magister, we managed to make enough of it to distribute to the city.
I applaud you, dearest. I applaud you. From my experience that your dealings with your people, they have been less than amiable, as we like to keep our distance and secrecy. So your willingness to help others, and even one of our own, has been duly noted.
I only do as my god wishes.
You see her lean forward, a little bit curious. And whom may you worship, if I can inquire?
Well, it does not translate out of my yet native tongue yet very well, but to, you may know him as the Desert God.
Ah, we have heard stories and legends from some books and scrolls we have gathered around the deserts. Our knowledge of him is very limited, however, what we do know of him is that your religion bases itself off of the other gods of the other religions are just a mere aspect or a mask of him. Is this correct?
Yes.
Good to know our historians are complete idiots this year's around. I will be keeping in touch with you as some of our historical records might be in need of some sprucing up.
I must say that I do not have a written. I did not learn this through written history. Everything has been orally passed down.
She raised an eyebrow for a bit.
As is the way of my tribe.
Rather odd, then, as we have found scrolls in many of the ruins. Perhaps we'll just send another scouting party. Oh well, anyways, on to further business. We have recently gotten a very unusual request from one Lady Sedona Canehurst and one Vitriol Canehurst. They have mentioned you by name, and I would like to confirm their identities.
Is she asking that to the group?
Yeah, it's to the group in general, so whoever wants to speak up first.
Rathus will speak up and say, yes, they are with us.
Are they of good character?
Out of everyone in the Underdark, they're one of the best people I've ever met.
Is that Rathus?
Yes.
You see her lean forward once again. So you personally vouch for them?
Anytime they would ever ask, I will do it.
Would you travel the hottest desert and trudge through the coldest winter for them?
Yes.
You see your eyes just scan through your very soul, even though these ones are white and pupilless. Okay, so are you lying?
He chose to fail the zone of truth.
No, so you're telling the truth. She was just analyzing to be sure, because you know elves can be tricky. And she has said that some of the Drow wish to make an alliance with us. You can understand our hesitancy given your people's histories.
Well, a good bit of my people are the epitome of an asshole.
We're well aware after some recent incursions. I do not fault you personally, as it was not you who sent them. I am more or less asking for an inside view of who to avoid.
Well, probably the current person sitting on the throne. What was her name again? It's hard to remember the names of people who don't deserve them. Mehrunes?
The current queen.
Vivoth speaks up and he says, well, my former mistress would be on that list, but she is dead as a doorknob.
Probably a good thing.
Where do you hail from? And she's looking at you, Vivoth.
Really quickly, out of character, I actually forgot to write down where he's from.
The Empire of Ruin. Specifically, the city of Roha. It's Roha. My bad. However you want to pronounce it. So it's Roha. That's where your lady and mistress was based out of.
I am from the Empire of Ruin, city of Roha.
I'll take note. And she looks back to you, Rathus. I will trust you and your judgment. with this one Lady Sedona. She'll be gifted an embassy within the city walls, to which we can carry out diplomatic relations with certain units of the Euclidean Dominion that we find favorable. So, you come with me with the news of the death of a vampire, the promise of alliance and trade with people with great weaponry, done my grandson a great service, and promise to help people. I see no reason why your request should not be granted for land. You will technically be under my grandson, however, he's a very mellow-mannered man, so I doubt he'll ever really bother you much. I hereby grant all of you present the title of Ward. You hear your voice boom for a minute. Does anyone else object with my ruling? You hear a bunch of people murmur and whisper.
Vivoth, for a second, goes to raise a finger, but then he just kind of puts it down.
And so it is before the divine magisterium and the light of Halo that we do recognize you as wards of the Empire. You are granted citizenship and entry to our city of Deus Vici, God's conquering. And I hereby gift you the tower and the vistas. You may do with it as you wish, and we will gift you one of our finest construments to help in its restoration and rebuilding. Any further request will be put as a requisition through my grandson and then presented to me at a proper time. Do these stipends come across as favorable to you?
Greatly.
And there it shall be, and she just stamps in the staff with echoing boom. You will be provided a map and relative transport to the Vista. Via teleportation.
Oh.
We have heard recent reports that goblins have taken over the tower. Nothing you can't handle to yourself, so we would have sent over our own guards. Our constermancer will be sent along with you. She kind of just waves her hand forward, and you see a very finely dressed, very spry young woman. She's wearing pretty simple clothes considering the company. She's wearing goggles that are pulled up to keep her hair at bay in a tight bun. She has very thick leather gloves, very fine boots that go all the way up to her heels, or not her heels, all the way up to her knees, and a blacksmith's apron, and she's just covered in soot. This is Magister Valana. She oversees construction and the addition to new districts of our city. One of the finest around that we have within the Magisterium. We are entrusting her to you to keep safe, and she in turn will restore the tower. However, I must warn you, no offense, Velena, she is not the combat sort. She is barely equipped enough to handle the gun she wields. You see the woman take that. And now be off with you. Have fun. And make sure that you honor your god, little one. And she kind of looks at you, Muiri, with a weird smile.
Muiri just blanked for a good bit, staring at some random piece of finery.
He laughs. Anyways, you'll be escorted to the 3rd floor to where we keep the mages. And she once again waves her hand. These white marble armored knights take you. All of them flanking one corner of your group. You led upstairs.
Well, that went well.
To where, at the top of the stairs, the magister was waiting for you, the one that came with you originally. It's that went a lot better than it usually does. She usually belittles people. I really like you then.
Indeed.
And you're led through this bunch of winding halls. You take like a left, a right, another right, then a left. And then you're led into a room where there's a giant circle. A mage, a very elderly man, just waiting, his beard growing into this weird, almost translucent hair. Shines in light. He's like, oh, yes. Yes, the Archon has informed me of your arrival. And where might I be taking you this fine, kind of looks up through the sunroof, day?
Vivok really quickly speaks up and says, our companion here, and I point to what Janik has a wagon.
Oh, yes, that's perfectly fine, that's perfectly fine. Bring it in, bring it in.
To
And
this room.
Oh, yes, there's no issue, dear. Kind of stands up like holding a cane, just kind of walks over to the side of the balcony to where you now see guards bringing the wagon. You just hear him kind of whisper a bit, and his hands glow a bit, and the cart begins to lift up with all the horses and spiders.
Alright.
And rat.
I feel like we need a tarp for that wagon.
there are, yeah, no, that's how I bought it.
Do you then
Okay, good.
Does it
It's
also have
covered, yeah.
non-Elias in it?
I was
get a
very,
auto copy?
very careful and specific about that.
So you get into the room, no issue. This is a very skilled mage. Like, okay, stand in the circle, make sure you're all really close together, shoulder to shoulder preferably.
Ooh,
Second.
touch.
Didn't they say the tower was... Didn't they say the tower was overrun by goblins? Maybe we should head in first before we bring all our, things.
Oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Goblins are nothing, and you're shunted through a hole in space. You're traveling through the blackness of emptiness. For a
Oh,
moment, you swear you see a giant, red, baleful eye look over. You're gonna get roll for percentile now. Yeet. God damn, this old man got pinpoint fucking accuracy. He got a literal 100.
Janet,
Damn.
wow.
Okay, for out of character purposes, he's 104.
He still got the accuracy to shoot the wing off of the ass of a donkey at 3 miles away.
Fuck yeah, he did.
Okay,
With a
Zach,
BB gun.
Yeah.
just for future reference, because this is gonna come up, and also Dort is gonna get what I'm going here. Janet can speak Goblin.
Oh, we're gonna go diplomatic.
Goblin friends. Goblin friends.
So,
Goblin
as you
friends.
travel through the void, you see that one baleful red eye stare back at you. And then you're shunted back outside to where you see the rockfall sky, the stars illuminating above you, giving off enough of light to see. And you're in front of a dilapidated tower, and it's like
Question.
bits are falling off, and it's in a different motif than it was the Magisterium.
Question.
Yes.
That baleful eye can Abe roll religion? No.
Maria,
Yeah, go for
go
it. It is definitely would have a religious context. Or context.
Can
Oh,
Maria
okay.
do a check as
Okay.
well?
You may.
Which check would you say?
Religion.
Religion? Oh god, oh god. Oh wait, this
With-
is Rathos. I need to not be an idiot.
With Rathus, it would be at advantage.
Okay. Oh no. Do I have to do both these people for combat? No.
No, you're gonna choose in just a bit.
Okay. So,
Choose your fighter.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay, so you both know immediately what that red eye symbolizes.
oh, that was just for Rathos at advantage.
Muri doesn't get it.
Oh, okay.
So, with you starting with Beat, the scholar from Mage's Haven that you grew very close with for the time being, that eye looks very familiar to a story she told you of a very weird elder god that likes to inhabit the plains of dreams. He was known as a Mustus the Maddening Buzz. He's
Wait, is that the same one that spawns the moths?
Yep.
And the one that Mauri stole?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah.
Okay.
To let you know, on top of that, since both of you rolled so high, His whims and wants are unknowable and change as the winds do.
I think I rolled.
You rolled a lot. You know a lot more because Amustus is personally involved in a very specific point in Caliphate history. And it's a very it's a very bad story. So what you recall is a story that one of the wise men once told you of a city that grew so pious and so prideful that a priest of Amustus, a drow, came forward to it. It said, "If you can tell me of the infinite everything and the nothingness of light, I will spare your city." And they attempted to shoot the man down. But nothing would harm him. The sands around him turned to glass as the Caliphate threw fire upon fire on him. And he grew bored of it after the 7th day. He faded into nothing but a cloud of locusts, bearing from it a black emptiness to where a single hand, the size of mountains itself, grabbed the city and wrenched it into the void. After this, it gets a bit hazy as many of the other Akiri tribes have a different tale of what happened, but this is the most common point where they got driven to madness.
Stop putting shit in your litter box. You're supposed to shit in it, not put shit in it. Sorry.
He's just
It's okay.
pooping.
And most of the story is kind of like, oh, they just went mad, they turned into beasts, they died of a plague one there, or Amustus himself just kept them there to watch. However, over many, many years after the Caliphates have fell, part of the city at least got shunted back into the prime material plane, which is now known as the City of Beasts, which is constantly avoided and forbidden to the Akiri people. A tribute to their pride and their zeal. What Rathus knows mostly pertains to the Obelix that he grew up with, who were very fond of him. Amustus is indeed the god of madness, however he is also the god of death and graves. Having a love-hate relationship with undead and those who are spawned with them. For a lich to invoke his name is for it to invite the opportunity for a moth to swallow it whole. Or have a spot of tea with it. He's a very fickle god. Beyond that, he even fell. Having it watch you, or even take notice of you, is rather concerning. However, he is not known to have any real sway aside from the dreams. And that's what you guys glean from that.
In Orcish, I'm going to say, I do not like the eye that was watching us.
In Orcish, Rathus is just gonna respond. I grew up basically visiting a family that very much worshipped that.
At that moment, you can hear... As you just see a goblin point and scream at you guys.
Abe is very quickly going yet to call out in Goblin. Can I say that after a while, his Goblin has gotten a bit better?
Yeah, it's fine. Because you're already okay with it, you just kind of smush the words together. So what do you say to the goblin?
Please do not fear. We come in peace.
Yes, yes, as Genix says in Goblin as well.
It kind of calms down, but it's still kind of pretty flighty.
In Orcish, I'm going to say, yeah, I am going to try to negotiate with the goblins to see if maybe we can work something out with them, with the tower.
Yes, good idea.
The high moral party.
Rathus is
Stephanie, not understanding what you guys are saying, casts Gift of Alacrity on herself.
Rathus is gonna say in Elvish to Vivalth and Stephanie. So how long do you think before this goes south and we get to get rid of the vermin?
Less than 10 minutes, darling.
So Vivoth,
Bet.
Jonic, and Vivoth, Jonic, and Abe all notice that the exiled Canehurst is pretty much spider climbed above the goblin. His mouth unhinged, and drool dripping out.
I get the feeling it's gonna be 1 to like, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Oh.
And then, okay, seeing that, Janek just goes, come here, little one.
Are you trying to lure him?
Yes.
Are you doing anything? Or are you just saying that?
As he goes into his bag to pull out a shiny.
I get to roll to see if he's attracted to the shiny. He's
It
attracted
is-
by the shiny.
It is a large red ruby.
Oh, Marie's attracted to it too.
So he lunges down, planting himself next to the goblin, which spooks him pretty badly, and then kind of skitters to you. You see him get disappointed as he gets close, as he now realizes it's a rock and not food.
Aw.
Stephanie pulls out a bread from her rations and hands it to him.
He snatches it, and in return you see him fish through his tattered clothing. He pulls out a gold piece and gives it to you in return.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
You're figuring out
As he doesn't
bartering.
understand he understands trading, not bartering.
Good. We love him.
As Janek just casually puts the ruby back in his bag, having served its purpose.
You see the goblin say, "What do you want?"
We understand that you and a number of your kind have taken up residence in the tower.
It's not really a tower anymore. It's more of a kind of kicks the side of the tower. Rod? I mean, there's not much of a top to it.
Well, what myself and my companions have been given ownership of it, and we were looking to restore it. And we were hoping that maybe we could work out a deal where we could coexist.
You see this goblin think for a second. I get to make an intelligence check for him. Ooh. So the shiny people give you thinkship of this tower.
Yes.
So let you know, this is on a bluff where it is just flat ground on a very elevated mountain. Plateau, that's the word I was looking for. So it's pretty much in the open, so you see the goblin look around for a bit, it's like... We stay here, but you pay us. We'll guard the tower for you.
You mean that you will stay on as guards?
I mean, yeah, you pay us. So I was thinking for a second.
I
Well,
am okay with this. So, Janek, do you have any objections?
actually, I was wondering if you could take care of my pets. He just looks behind him and then looks at the
The
goblin.
goblin tilts his head a bit.
Are you referring to your rats, or are you referring to the spiders?
Yeah, Janek's just trying to... Are you saying that in Orcish, or are you saying that in Goblin? Because that's very important.
I said that in Orcish.
Okay. And then in Orcish, I'm just going to say back to you, we don't need to tell them about the spiders yet.
Oh. Rathus doesn't okay. So you're going to accidentally feed them to it.
No, just, I don't want to scare them.
Oh.
I'm gonna say in Orcish. They're agreeing to stay on as guards for our tower. At least this one is.
There's 5 others of us.
Only 5? Oh wait, I can't understand that.
Well. But then that is fine. We may hire additional guards. But the 6 of you will
No, he meant 5 including himself.
the 5 of you will definitely be paid for protecting the tower.
I'll
So
pay you.
whoever you may like, because this is going to be over a period of quite a long, and they do speak common.
It's a good thing we were speaking in Goblin, or in Orcish.
Yeah, you started speaking in Goblin, which caught them off guard, and it got you enough trust for them not to attack on sight. So whoever you want to spearhead the negotiations, go ahead and roll charisma.
Okay.
Can I give assistance on it?
Yeah, to whomever wants to helm the persuasion roll, it's advantage.
Okay. Because my charisma is a flat 10.
Same here.
Oh no.
I'm guessing it's going to be either Muiri or Rathus.
You'd have to convince them.
It's more or less price negotiations.
Oh, Marie will do it then.
Okay, roll persuasion. At advantage.
What is her persuasion? Oh, it's the same thing as Rathus's. Okay, I can just use. Boop. Oh.
Okay. So they agree that their monthly upkeep altogether is going to be 20 gold pieces a month. So congratulations, you have the service of 5 goblins, the one you talked to, who was wielding a longsword.
A goblin wielding a longsword.
Yeah, it's very weird. Kind of like an anime style. So that one was called a Mel. You also have the service of Grun, Beck, Dowell, and Va.
I thought you were gonna make all their names rhyme with each other.
Nah.
Aw. None of them are related.
Big Beck
I'm sure if we pay them enough, they'll rename themselves.
Ooh, can we test it? And that was Muiri.
So part of those negotiations too is that they do have access to some of the food. You did kind of, talk it down to where they get more or less a ration supply. So you know that one of them likes to use longswords. About Grun, Beck, and Dowell like to use bows and crossbows. Va is very fond of just pretty much any simple weapon, hand axes, quarterstaffs, clubs, etc.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
the fighter.
Pretty much. And those are on your payroll. It's 20 gold a month.
Oh.
Goblins are used to being very poor, so this is a lot more money than they're used to.
As this is all being discussed, Janik is gonna kind of, to the group as a whole, clap his hands together and go, "So, would any of you like to help take care of my..." And he just kind of looks back at the wagon. Pets?
Vivoth immediately pipes up and says, "It would be an honor, sir."
And then he just looks at Vivoth. Why? I wasn't referring to you.
So the Magister that followed you here, Magister Vala, finally packs it. Like, do you want me to do my thing now?
Oh, you mean fixing the tower?
Yeah, I can also add, like, additions to it. Like, whatever you're really thinking of.
Oh no, the faces are gone.
The faces will never return. They'll return in about 5 seconds. Yes, we're perfectly fine with you fixing up the tower.
I return.
Sorry, I was distracted for a second there.
It's okay, I have to delete some lists to give you reference to what the tower looks like.
Yes, clear. The freaking B movie. Can I roll history to get a general like vibes of the architecture?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Hell yeah.
I would like to explore to see if there is a suitable area for me.
There is a cellar of sorts.
Yes.
Basement.
Touching out, it's a pretty big fucking tower.
Hell yeah.
Like, whoever lived in here was pretty well off. It's 145 feet from end to end. It has 3 tiers that, like the main area,
Mm-hmm.
the area above it, and there was a 3rd level that got taken off. There's also the underground. So you see her begin to weave her magics, and she just smashes her hands together. The tower is then slowly reformed, and you rolled the history check to see what the architecture is based off of.
Yeah.
So you think for a minute, and you're like, wait a minute, the weird sharp points, the harsh edge, this is Grim Hollow architecture. That's
Mm.
it's one of the ancient founding empires, in fact.
Ooh.
Very, very, a good chunk of the liches come from that era.
Interesting.
And she's like, do you wish for me to add anything? Do you want a wall, perhaps?
Is it just 2 big, like, circular 140-foot rooms, essentially, at this point?
So pretty much, each floor is just empty. There's like
Okay.
there's like a staircase right here, but this is just empty space. There is no room separation at all.
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. Freehand it here. We create a central room, both floors. And there's a hallway around that. Perfectly circular. We get a staircase, maybe ish type thing over here. And then we can have branching rooms coming off like that for each of the either our rooms, or we can have them separated into like businessy type rooms. And then the basement, Janik can just do whatever the hell he wants in there.
So kind of like how the tower is in Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah. So like the center room we could use for like meetings or and stuff like on the first floor, and then the second floor maybe we can have like a laboratory or like central like.
Oh, it's also
thing.
it's kind of like the dormitories in the College of Winterhold.
Oh yes. Actually, that's probably exactly where I was thinking with that. Except
Just-
So do you want this to be actually
Instead
open?
of there just being a big hole in the middle of the story.
No.
You can really have this be like a little courtyard if you wanted to.
No. Okay, so I think we should have this be like yeah. So those be like walls. These are yeah. So this would be. I'm just literally redrawing what I already drew, but no, I think we should have that be a room.
I'm assuming that
And
this
then-
is a foyer of some kind.
Yeah, so entryway with staircase to second floor. and then these all just be just walls and rooms, and then this
So-
in part being the like walkway in between.
So you want to get rid of the staircase over here.
Oh, I didn't know there was a staircase. Maybe we could just flip this, put the staircase and foyer
So-
over there.
So like this would be a center room,
Yes.
and then there'd be like a door on somewhere in
Yeah.
going to the middle, and then so this would be almost this room. So this would be like a room, but almost like a staircase going
Yes.
up.
Yeah, like a little stair room,
And then there's like a door here,
Door, yeah.
here.
all
Going-
going to the center hallway. Yes.
And then there's like windows on the outside.
Yeah.
To the
Here, I'll
wall.
draw doors. Red door. Whoops! I did not mean to make it a square. I meant to free draw. This is a mess. I'm so sorry. Door. That's blue. God damn
A door.
it. Yes. 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 Door. Door.
Someone sent email.
Door. Door.
You know, if they put the picture in the email, it prints with like the to and the from and all that. Well, they did that, and I was trying to print it without that, and I didn't know how. So I called Roy, and he was like, "Just save the picture to the computer and print it out that way." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh, you know what you could do is have it so that the staircase is on the side,
Attachment, but
and this is the
Oh
entrance.
yeah. Yes. 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 That
And you
would be better.
So you walk past the stairs to go into the rest of the area, and then if you want to, you can go up or down the staircase.
Yes.
Anyways, you can have like a spiral staircase just like right here, so it takes up less space. And this can just
Oh,
be the
yeah.
main
Oh
sitting
yeah,
area.
like that. This is so bad. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm getting a general idea.
Cool.
So pretty much the first floor is just living area.
Yeah. And then the second floor, we can have each of those rooms be whatever we want.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got Jonik, Abe, Vivoth, Muiri, Rathas, and
Actually, Stephanie is going to take a second floor room for her bedroom. Because fuck it. Wizard
Just-
Tower.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. But the entrance to the next floor is right here.
Yes.
Okay. So you tell this to her and she restores this in such a way.
Hell yeah.
So next is the second floor, which is just a blank circle. Do you want to section a small chunk of it off, like towards one of the edges?
Well, I was thinking doing the same pattern on the second floor. So we have these basically standard layout with separated rooms, and then later we can bust down a couple walls if we need bigger rooms or something like that.
To let you know, this is a one-time thing freebie.
Oh,
After this, you're going to have to pay money.
Well, we...
To be fair, removing walls is usually easier than putting walls up.
True, but you don't know dim hollow architecture. You don't know what is load-bearing and what isn't.
Fair enough.
Before we start knocking tower walls down,
Why don't we make it so that the upper story is? Can you put us on a new page so that I can? Because I have an idea. How would that work? Let's see. Okay, well I'll just do it in purple. Oh, there you go. So let me just. I'll just draw a circle real quick. Just give you a rough idea of what I was thinking that we could do for a second story. So there's like the staircase going up there. That's like a spiral staircase, right?
Mhm.
What we could do is separate it into bigger areas. So, for instance, we could have a area. So, same kind of deal where... Ooh, this is really bad. Same kind of sort of deal, more or less, where there's like... Ugh, horrible. Hold on. Circular center area with the staircase in an isolated room, and then separate these into like almost like quarters. So, and these could almost be like either study areas or like what kind of rooms would you guys want to have?
So you are getting an arcane study for free. So one of these areas is going to be an arcane laboratory.
Hell yeah.
And then the center area could be kind of just general living space.
So kind of just like a kitchen almost.
Well, I was thinking more like a living room in the dead center, and then off to the sides. Because the lower floor is like a hallway, right? And then there's a middle area, and then that could be like the kitchen. Whereas this area could be more like a common room, I guess.
I see that. My only thing is, what if I think like the rooms, they're already so big. I don't know how much more room we would need per room, right? Like, because if we did that circular hallway thing, we could just connect two of the rooms like via sidewall, i.e., like door here and door here, so that these two rooms would be connected, but in those smaller layouts to make like conjoined kind of rooms, but they're still like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Let me redo this because that's atrocious.
I don't know how to erase, so I apologize. My marks are permanent.
Oh, if you just if you do the button that looks like a normal mouse, and then you click and drag over what you've made, you can select it, and then you just delete key.
Ha.
Yep.
Bam. Nice. Cool.
Well, now this line isn't long enough.
So there was mention of alchemy. Do you want one of these to be an alchemy laboratory too?
That would be swag. We want everything.
So there's going to be at base a library, an arcane study, a kitchen, and living areas. That's all that's being provided to you, baseline by the Magisterium.
Okay.
So you can design your rooms however you desire.
I mean, if anybody wants the rooms to be smaller, it's not too difficult
Mm-hmm.
to just add more walls ahead of time. It'll only be harder after the fact.
Right.
There. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
And then like a door here. Oh, that's not barely visible. What is the opposite of purple? Green? I don't know.
I think green, yeah.
So like a door there, a door there, a door there, a door here. And then we could have doors in between the rooms like this.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
I don't know how many of your characters grew up in that kind of situation, but I know Mawiri at least did. What about bathing?
Janek is capable of bathing himself.
You know, like, should we get a room for that?
Yeah, I'm like either thinking we would either need a dedicated room to that, or it would have to be each person would have their own bathing section of their own room, which I feel like would be too kind of a lot. But the rooms are really big. If like just those quarter rooms that we had, the 8 on the bottom floor, Those are pretty big rooms.
Well, there's how many of us? There's at least there's like 7 of us, 6,
Yeah.
8 of us.
Because the other one was 140 feet long, right? Because I think this one's slightly smaller.
If not, okay. Here's the thing: if some of us are not going to be using those bottom floor rooms, those rooms that are not being used can be used for utilities, like a
Right.
bathroom, kitchen.
Yeah, I figure if we do have the second floor split up into these more large, like workshop type rooms, Stephanie would probably take a bottom floor room. But I was saying if it was like mirrored top floor, bottom floor, she would want a top floor room because it would have a better view.
I'll be right back, yo. I'm gonna go bathroom.
Okay.
Topical. No.
So just speak amongst yourselves. You know, you're gonna get all that stuff at base, including a kitchen. You can also get a wall around your tower for free.
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
that's a good idea.
Well, we could
Moat and then a wall.
do this, and then have
So BRP.
another room here, and then you could have. Hold on, I'll make. What color do you want to be? I'll use
Wait.
the color your thing is, which is teal. So this room, and then
Uh-huh.
maybe you could have your own personal room for whatever in there, and then the remaining 3 rooms could be more like an alchemy room that anyone can use,
Right.
and then I don't know, astronomy. Wait, no, that would have to be on a higher.
Yeah, we have a third
Floor.
floor, but it's like collapsed, right? And a basement. So technically we have 4 of these.
The basement's gonna be used for Jonik's
Yeah.
spiders.
Spider den.
Which means Mawuri will not go anywhere near the basement.
Well, here's the thing: is that the spiders don't actually need that much space.
Yeah, so you can segment it: spiders, mushrooms.
Yeah,
fucking
that's. I mean,
The-
prison cells.
prison cells, silk making stations.
We'll get into that dungeon you were joking about making.
Are you saying that you're going to put the dungeon cells where the spiders live?
Hell yeah!
Well, it doesn't have to be right next door, but it can be in the basement.
That feels very drow. Just like, look over there, you can see the spiders from across the wall. And it goes quiet.
You know what wouldn't be a terrible idea is having some kind of centralized system for moving materials through the different floors. Because a staircase is good for just people going up and down, but let's say we want to move heavy stuff
Right.
to either the basement or a higher floor.
External elevator.
What I was thinking is,
Hello.
hey, so I got big brain ideas. We put on. Well, I was thinking inside, but actually, that's a better idea. Is having on the outside. God damn it! On the outside of the tower, having a dumbwaiter kind of system.
Oh yeah.
Added.
Well, yeah. I was also thinking maybe we could just move the staircase to the outside anyway, but like, I don't know. If it's raining and then you have a spiral staircase, might not be the best.
The alternative idea I was thinking of was having dead center of the entire tower an elevator, or like a dumbwaiter, one with where you pull the ropes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Gave it hair.
Wait, hold on. Oh wait.
Where should we put the kitchen? Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. I'm honestly thinking if we just make them all, every floor exactly the same, it'll be easier to put things in rooms, and if we need a larger room, we can just split it into 2 rooms. Right? That way organizing would just be better. But I don't know. Why did I just do? I just totally got all this teal everywhere.
That's the magical shield that we have
yeah.
around the
to protect our sacred wiener.
It's got a dress now or a blanket.
Well, if we wanted to have the rooms split up in the same way... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Because then if it was 8 rooms per floor, it would be...
Am I splitting this up too many times? No, this is exactly what I need.
Counting the center room,
There
it would
we
be
go.
36...
Congratulations, you just made a bunch of doors be cut in half of the wall.
Including the center room, if we had the eight separate rooms plus the center room per floor, it would be 36 if we managed to repair the actual 3rd floor, and we did the same pattern in the basement. But I don't think we probably don't need that many rooms in the basement. But again, I think just for the sake of like organization, it might be nice to have every floor be the same, and then we can make minor adjustments based on what we need. But I don't know. Is this Zach? Is this accurate to the size of the first floor with the measurement? Because the first floor was 140 feet, right? I think this circle's. I don't know.
It's slightly tapered, so it would get like 10 feet smaller as you go up. So this one would be 135. The next one would be 125.
Okay.
So not like a dramatic increase or decrease, but still, it's noticeable.
Yeah, so this is 85, so the rooms are much larger than what this measurement is.
Okay, so this is not the scale.
Yeah. So I think the rooms by themselves are already going to be pretty big.
I mean, even to scale, these are still decent-sized rooms.
Right, exactly.
I mean, the staircase is ridiculously small, but I've actually seen spiral staircases that are 5 feet by 5 feet. So
yeah.
Sometimes they're just really, really narrow and
compact,
deep.
Have you not seen the spiral staircases that are just like metal planks that go around a pole?
Oh God, hate that.
Yep. So, any other thoughts?
There's still one more floor. There's the very top floor.
Currently doesn't have a ceiling, right? Or do we?
It has a ceiling.
Okay.
There's a little balcony that overlooks the lands too. So I'm rolling for stuff right now. So I'm sorry if I'm like distant.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
So hypothetically, we could have the first floor center room be like the main meeting area, and then every floor above that, there's just no ceiling, and then we could have a lift system in the center room.
Oh.
Right? So we have the first floor be like a main hall area, but then we have a lift in there, and then like elevator up.
Okay, so you're saying having like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Draw a shape.
I don't know which one would be more expensive, but you could also do a...
That is a square. Alt. Okay.
Yeah, depending on which one is cheaper or more expensive, you could either do the lift system, Or even doing a teleportation circle system.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
But it would. So like, you could just teleport up to each floor.
Yeah.
The consummate should just pipe up and saying a lift would be easier for her to make. She could have a disc that goes up and down magically.
Oh,
Ooh.
That seems pretty good. Although we wouldn't have that centralized like meeting room unless we just made the meeting room mobile as part of the lift.
We could still use the central room as a meeting room. It's just that there'd be a big elevator in the middle of it. Also, this elevator, if the elevator, I would say, would only need to be 10 by 10, not like if using the what you said, if like this not being to scale, this elevator would be like 20 feet wide.
Right.
It show so in actuality, hold on, it would be like oh, that's a square. It would be like this big.
Right. Well, we would want it for moving like the big shit to the
Right.
higher floors.
Yeah, but nothing's going to be bigger than 10 by 10. That would be insane.
Unless we need cannons or something.
Cannons are not bigger than 10 feet. Oh my god! Are you talking
The
about like a
big
modern
cannons.
naval cannon?
Yes.
Like a freaking 120 millimeter? Oh my gosh! Can
Or if
you-
we
I mean-
capture some kind of large beast, a dragon.
Oh my
Ooh,
god!
Dragons. You could have like a couple rooms at the very top being like a rookery in case you need to send messages back and forth.
Ooh, we carrier pigeons.
Or codes.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
for the goth aesthetic.
if I'd be okay with the idea of having it be 15 by 15 at a stretch. Anything bigger than that, and at this point, you're just like, if we need to move something that big up or down a story, what?
I mean, we could
How
just
do
get
we
like,
get it in the, okay. How do we get it in the front door?
that's fair. See, that's fair.
Do we
Maybe-
have a 20-foot by 20-foot front door?
Maybe we just build a smaller tower later that we use as a lift from the outside.
Another smaller tower that's just
Yes.
an elevator.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
So, I mean, hear me out on this.
oh no.
As a response for the really big thing that we have to put into a room, give it a second, it's loading. Jason, you said the cannons aren't that big, unless it's like a modern naval cannon.
I think
Let
I
me
know what you're
present
about
to
to
you.
post.
For your viewing pleasure.
Oh dear God.
And it's funny because at first, if you're just looking at this at a glance, it's like, oh, it's just a normal cannon. And then you look at the size of the people in the background.
Jason, do you know how big the caliber is for that?
Isn't it like 800 or something?
It's 890 millimeter.
Yep.
So for the sake of brevity, I'm going to let you guys argue about the rooms later. Because there's stuff happening.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Because I appreciate y'all's creativity, but I had to roll for units. So, Stephanie,
Yes.
a few days into construction, a Knoll ambassador approaches you who is named Mirage. They are interested in your presence here
Uh-huh.
and wish to deliberate on stuff. Abe, A farmer named Zillion wants to move in.
A farmer, you say?
Yep.
Does he speak a
Ratha.
language that I know?
He speaks Orcish.
Well, of
Right.
course, we're okay with the farmers. I don't know how good the soil is here, but I will do what I can to help.
Wrath is a blacksmith that you recognize, a Duragar.
Oh.
His name's Melinar. And you shamefully remember him.
Oh.
More or less because he owned him in fucking Dance Academy.
Never mind. I do not shamefully know him.
And he was more or less just a blacksmith because he just did not like dancing and was just looking for a place to hide out.
Go for it.
Helena, you find... Well, I think she's left, right?
Yeah, no. She had to leave because of her computer and stuff.
Well, that scarred half-orc she met
Mhm.
more or less kind of followed her and wants to be a miner here because he was that by trade. His name is Grult.
Groot.
Grult. Gruult.
Groot.
Yep. Jonik, you also attracted a farmer because you both rolled the same exact fucking thing.
Farming. Agriculture.
The two druids.
Pretty much. This one is a human. Her name is Ja. Just Ja.
Ja.
You didn't tell me the name of the farmer I attracted, nor the race.
He was a half-elf and his name is Zillion.
Cool. What's this diplomat want with me?
More or less, since you are the first person to actually be related to the Magisterium and interact, they are just wanting to talk trade.
Okay, swag.
Let's see, you've got Jonik. Muir, you attracted a Dragonborn ambassador.
Ew.
They come to you with issues of the Alacor infecting Mitris and are requesting aid.
I don't see why not.
And I'm gonna roll for the Constromancer on the wall. Okay. Pretty much a square mile in a cube, there's a wall.
That's pretty big.
Where
She got a nat 20. And nat 20 plus 5. So everyone's kind of getting set up now. And they're in ramshackle way. Because the agreement of the Divine Magisterium is that you yourself get an abode. These people, no.
So they're just chilling in our.
Pretty much the ambassadors are visiting. The farmers, blacksmith, and miners are just kind of here chilling. So you do have a small population.
Nice.
Because Zillion came with his immediate family, just his sister and a brother. Let's see who else. The dwarf came alone, and the human jaw came with her partner. So you have a total population of 6 right now.
Hell yeah. We be homesteading.
Kinda. Starting. So the tower is restored to its previous state, so it still has that gothic, pointy aesthetic.
What color is it?
Stone.
It's
Stone
pretty much
color.
gray.
Okay.
It looks like it was watermarked at some point, almost. Not like the logo, but you know, like a lot of water dripped into the concrete and was kind of stained there.
Do we have
don't-
team colors, and can I use the Mold Earth's dirt color changer ability portion to paint the tower?
What color?
I'm asking if we have a team color.
No.
Like, do we have a You guys have been in a team longer than Stephanie has been with you. Have you had any kind of established vibe?
Chaos.
Chaos. Yellow and purple. Let's do yellow and purple.
I was about to say the color of bees, but I don't think bees are purple, and I don't know why my brain immediately associated them.
Okay, so
Jeez.
those who are going to magically affect the color, roll a straight d20, no modifiers.
Was mold? Okay.
This isn't just like you're putting magic into this. Okay, whoever else is wanting to do this. Marie, do you want to get in on this?
No, I'm good.
Rathus?
Watching this out. Nah, he's good too.
Janet.
Oh, I linked mending, not mold earth. I'm sorry. Here's mold earth.
You guys start putting magic into the tower. Hold up, I'm going to try to find an example of this.
So it does work on stone, which is cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I was planning on just rubbing colored dirt on the thing and hoping it sticks.
So it isn't as vibrant as you were hoping.
Janek's good with mold earth, but he's not very good at art. He's just kind of smearing dirt all over it.
Teamwork.
Do.
Stephanie's got those like rolled up sleeves, so she's like
So,
shoving
you know,
stuff on her robe.
the colors here are very desaturated, but you can get the faintest glimmer of what they once were. It's still the same gray stone that's watermarked, but you can get this pattern.
Ooh, ooh.
We gave it
Oh,
arcade carpet.
Essence of bowling alley.
Well, I say we keep that pattern, but just vibrant it up.
Because you see the dual blues, the dual yellows, the dual pinks.
Yeah. Let's try and bring out those colors.
Internet died briefly. What I miss?
We're painting the tower purple and yellow. In the design of bowling alley carpet.
I was gonna say 90s Taco Bell, but yeah, that looks more like a bowling alley carpet.
God, I miss 90s Taco Bell aesthetic.
There's a
It's
couple that still have.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a 90s aesthetic, and bowling alleys never left the 90s.
Right.
I mean, some of them never left the 70s.
This is also true.
People are now
Yeah.
building their own little settlements inside the walls. You're gonna have a small little farm area outside. You're gonna have a blacksmith, a farmer who's working on the inside, and a miner.
Cool. I'm gonna help the farmers with their stuff in my off time.
Look,
And-
it's gonna take a week.
When I'm not helping them, I'm gonna be setting up the dungeon.
Do you mention this to the Constromancer?
Yes.
She makes it a small maze.
It's a maze. Oh no.
Get a minotaur.
I mean, it's not something you would get lost in, but it's just like it would be weird to go in for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So for the week that you live there, you do grow familiar with it.
I have puppy again.
Puppy.
Clover. She's mine.
So in the time that it takes for you guys to set up, there is some activity outside of the walls that is quickly dealt with by Oneleus. However, you know, he is one person, he can't continuously intake flesh. So they are slowly being attracted. You do get a trade request from a null ambassador, and
Yeah.
request for aid from a dragonborn ambassador from Mitras.
What particularly is the Null ambassador interested in trade-wise?
He wants to trade Malglass, which is just a very common ingredient within most evocation spells, especially the higher level stuff.
Did you say it was glass?
Yeah, it's almost a type of glass. Very
Is
rare.
Is it a nice looking glass? Like, can you use it for stained glass windows?
Oh yeah.
And he
Oh
wants
yeah.
he wants to give that to us, or he wants that from us?
He wants to trade that for Ethereum.
Okay.
We can get stained glass windows.
That would be like such a freaking flex. To have.
Stephanie.
I hope you guys know that if you cast a spell through this window, it is considered an auto crit.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck! What the fuck? We need this shit. Holy shit! Okay.
Every room.
Well, Stephanie. Stephanie's kind of deal is she wants to spread the knowledge of magic to where it's basically as common as like literally everybody knows magic. So her initial thought is to offer copies of like spell books and just magic theory books in their archives for this.
Okay. So I'm gonna be real. You're making me second guess my decision on what I was gonna do with when we finally level up, because that
The downside to this, it is, if you crit on this window, it explodes.
Yeah, I was about to say it breaks.
If you crit fail on this window, it explodes. It is a very useful item, but if you get in any one of those ranges, it will explode, and it deals 9th level fireball damage.
Oof.
It has so basically it's a 10% chance of causing a nuclear detonation.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks really nice though. Dangerous as hell.
Here's what we gotta do. We make a cannon out of it, and we put like 40 of those windows in a row.
here's an idea.
Magic cannon?
Here's an idea. You make a spell enhancing wand.
Yeah.
It just has a
The one
bit
of
of
probable death.
it. Only slight possibility of
So-
completely annihilating yourself.
So I have a question.
I have an answer.
What if you cast a spell that's not targeted through it? That
Crits.
just has a saving throw.
It just pretty much, if it hits the enemy, it deals the same amount of damage as a crit would.
So in other words, we're safe to cast those because you can't crit or crit fail on those.
Yep, even if the enemy were to crit succeed or crit fail, it would have no effect on the window. So spells such as Blight and Circle of Death casted through this window would have no immediate or impairment effect.
Yeah, we need to
Okay.
trade for that glass.
Oof.
Well, there you go. I can just... We have enemies approaching, yet we do the cannon thing that Sage suggests. Just
Do you want to upgrade this? Do you want to upgrade the walls with this too?
Maybe not the walls, because that would mean that if they threw a spell through it as well,
Yeah, it
has
would work
the same
both ways.
effect.
What I was thinking is we make ramparts where the defenses are out of this. So in,
Let you know, the top of this tower was originally glass.
I love it.
To let you know, it was more like a domed observatory where the stained glass stuff was literally a planetarium almost.
We might want to avoid using it like to build into stuff like with the windows, because enemies could fire spells through
Yeah.
the windows, crit us, and or just straight up crit fail and explode us.
yeah, might be a good idea to. I still like the idea of spell enhancing
Yes.
equipment.
So you can
I
get
was
a
thinking-
limit to experiment on. That's easy enough.
Okay, hell yeah. How much is needed to get the crit effect? Because I was thinking, what if you made a ring out of it with a little mirror on it, and
For
then
the
you
crit
could.
to actually work, it has to be the size of a hand mirror.
Okay.
So it has to be 5 inches long and like a millimeter thick, I want to say, however thick a mirror chunk is.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, then we could just make little hand mirrors that we carry around with us and just boom, boom.
Or like almost like a magnifying glass, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not actually magnifying of anything other than the spell's effect.
But
Yeah.
she's willing to give you one free thing of it, but beyond that, you're going to have to pay a pretty hefty price.
Yeah.
So
I
what
was
I would,
hoping we could establish some kind of like trade deal rather than trading in gold directly. We could offer them some kind of thing that we can produce, maybe like the silk or farm stuff. But they probably have plenty of farm shit, so I don't know.
So guys, I don't know. Okay, Zach, do I know if the bird's eggs, quote unquote bird eggs, that I'm carrying around, what was it called? Hold on, I wrote it down.
A bassin.
Bassin, right?
Yeah.
Do they produce anything that could be farmed from them or harvested in any way?
Are you talking food-wise or just material-wise?
Anything that would be worth in terms of a trade.
Well, you do recall that a lot of their feathers, especially towards the neck, are very, very well a common ingredient, well, at least in ye old ancient days, like, say, by human standards, like a few hundred years ago, when they were more plentiful. They're used in potions of fire breathing and fire resistance.
Okay. And also their eggs will be valuable because it's a rare thing.
It is a rare creature, however, they are not edible in any sense of the word.
Right.
They cause acute liver failure when consumed.
Oof.
Except from the orcs and giants. They can eat
Are the egg shells worth anything? Or value or usable in any way? Because they're really tough.
roll nature. Or roll using your alchemy kit. So intelligence modifier plus
I'm wondering if you could make armor out of it?
the eggshell?
Yeah. 'Cause it's
Intelligence modifier plus proficiency if you're going to use your
strong.
alchemy tools.
Intelligence modifier plus proficiency. What is our proficiency? I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
Plus 2.
Okay, so 20 plus 4. 20.
So you can gather that these are. It's possible that because they do feel semi-metallic, that you could, in a way or form, maybe melt this down into a type of medium armor. Because these eggs are not. They're how do I describe it? They're pretty big, but they're not like ostrich big.
Right.
So it
So
took a
it would
lot
take
of
a
them.
lot of eggs.
Well, this would be a long-term thing. The thing is that hatching them, I mean, you're not. The eggs are. You still have the eggshells even after they've hatched.
Yeah, that these things are pretty durable. They do not rust from your knowledge.
Okay.
However, you cannot ascertain if these can hold an enchantment well.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have 4 eggs, one that you're now... So right about now we're at the 3rd day of reconstruction.
I wonder if they'd be fire resistant.
The eggs within the basket begin to hatch.
Okay, Janek is doting over them.
So the ones that hatch from the basket, they are a bit more dull of color. So instead of that, kind of sheen of bright blue-green metallic, it's more of a dull blue-gray. And they kind of just look at you and just kind of snuggle up for warmth.
Oh!
Cringes.
The day after, the 2 others in the sash hatch, already against you, kind of just fall asleep like that.
Janek is just feeding them ashes.
So, I'm going to roll for something else. This might help. Oh, that is good. That's a nat 20. So, one of the farmers, Zelian, says that his father used to breed these because back in ye olden times, so like yesterday for the elves, because the humans hunted these damn things to endangerment, that he has some knowledge of how to care for these. He says he can maybe start a lucrative trade with them, not selling them, but like their byproducts.
Yes.
He says he just needs a male and a female to get started.
And he just like looks at them. He's like, and he just hands the two, one male and one female over.
You didn't even ask if there were any.
No, they're pretty easy to identify. The females are dual, the males are bright. He's like, I've heard stories that some of these live in the mountains, so maybe I can find some more and, keep it more, the gene pool a bit more varied.
Plus, you mentioned that the ones in the basket hatched first, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was always assuming that the ones in one basket were going to be one gender, and then the ones in the other basket were going to be the other gender.
So the ones in the basket were female, the ones in the sash were male.
Okay.
So you still have a male and a female with you. The next day, because that guy rolled a natural 19 plus 5 on a survival check, finds about 7 more of them. Well, not even kidding. So you rolled a 23 on trying to find them, based off of nothing but rumor. So pretty much about all of them are female except 2. So the gene pool should be pretty varied for a little bit.
Okay. The 2 that I didn't give him, I'm going to be keeping myself in my room. My, not the dungeon room, but the nicer room. And
okay, to warn you, because you do have some more knowledge about these, because I'm assuming you're going to study up on them. They're incredibly hard to tame.
Okay.
They're easy to work with, very hard to change and teach.
Okay.
However, it is not an impossible feat. However, it does say that if you do get them a bit earlier, it is a bit easier. Not by much. They are very cowardly by nature, even though they can breathe fucking fire.
Okay.
But they're still the size of a fucking chicken.
Hopefully
They are kobold chickens.
Pretty much.
Oh, I love it.
Hopefully the fact that they were literally born in my arms.
They do imprint. They do imprint.
Okay.
But those terrible 2s, man, they're gonna hit you like a brick.
You're not my real dad. Chicken.
Anyway.
Chicken dad, rat dad.
Beyond that, I'm gonna have the spiders in the dungeon.
So she set up more of a weird winding area for them.
Cool.
So it doesn't close off.
Cool. And I'm just gonna kind of... I'm gonna assume that I'm using speak with animals, and I'm gonna basically instruct them that this is where they are free to stay, and that food will be brought to them, and that if they can make basically that in exchange for them producing silk, they can make their own webs as long as they also produce extra in order to be harvested, and in exchange for the food. And
not hard with the common beast because it's free food for very minimal work.
Yes.
So the exports of your fucking small town is gonna be so bizarre. So bizarre, especially since you have a Duergar living with you.
Stephanie wants to start making copies of any kind of like academic works that are here so that we can start exporting those as well.
Okay, it's not too hard. They're mostly in common.
Cool.
However, some of them are in a weird dialect of a language you do know, because I think you went with the weird Skalanta language.
I have Common, Elvish, Talanta, and Draconic.
So yeah, this is in a dialect of Talanta, so it's a bit harder, but not impossible.
And then on top of that, just generally studying Orcish.
Okay. So I'm gonna call it a night right there, so you guys can figure out how you want this thing structured.
One other thing is, can I have a small area of the dungeon sectioned off that's a little bit nicer, and it's like designed for the rats to stay in?
They have all little tiny pillows.
How the dungeon works is there is.
Mm.
It is a circular room. There are 4 entrances that lead into a very, more or less, very basic, 4-year-old maze.
Mm.
That you kind of see sectioned off in the corner of like one of the bigger corn mazes.
Mm.
So you have a big common room, like 100, and I will say just a straight 100 feet around.
Mm.
A bunch of beams everywhere, though.
Mm.
And then these little areas kind of splinter off. So you have 4 little maze areas. And the large common area, which is yours to do whatever you want with.
I will... You know what? I'll let the rats roam free and just instruct the spiders not to kill the rats.
Kinda hard.
No eat. Not food.
Oh, this town. So you guys know you can name the tower and the small upcoming settlement.
Hey.
Once again, argue amongst yourselves. So, right now, the impending threats, as a reminder, null trade. From what you can understand to be a lot more good aligned nulls, because there are good aligned nulls in the setting. The Metron infection, and the slow trickle of Alacor aberrations to the tower.
And the goblins are helping in defense, right?
Oh yeah, they're doing the best they can because they're small.
Mm.
And only 3 of them know how to accurately use weapons.
I'm just keeping Snuffles on me, so he's not going to get eaten by the dragon chicken.
Stephanie probably at some point decides that they should have a meeting about our good friend that is causing lots of plague-ridden monsters to come at our doorstep.
By the way,
yeah,
unrelated to that, Stephanie.
Yes.
Would you be okay if I decide to go this way to be as almost a tutor to Janek in magic?
100%. She would love that.
Okay, that might come up later.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
let you guys know some more table rules. When it comes to the alternate characters, you can have 3.
Ooh.
So, for instance, both Dwar and Jess can have 1 more character on that. Same rules apply. You cannot switch between them unless it is stated that they're really close in the area to you. When they are gone or you want to switch, it is treated as they're doing something and on business.
Okay.
I'm also assuming that the fact that we were able to control both characters is an exception because we were all traveling together.
Yeah, traveling together is fine. And it's say, for instance, that you're in a tough dungeon or going to a tough dungeon, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, maybe this character isn't going to be so good or well-fitted for the situation for XYZ reason. So in the middle of traveling, you can swap. As long as it's relatively close.
Oh, that does remind me. Ugh. As I yawn, Rathus is going to be disappearing.
Is it to where I'm thinking?
He's going to go get a stick.
Okay.
He's angry that he has to go fetch a stick, but he's going to go fetch a stick.
Okay, noted. So guys, I still have all the names to the new additions to this settlement, in quotation marks. You have a square mile within a 20-foot wall. So it's a pretty big area. A good chunk of it taken up by the 100-foot tower.
Yo, Discord decided to die for me, so I heard that decide to swap, and then nothing else from there.
What did I say? So you can decide to swap. If you're on a long traversing journey, you can swap mid-journey as long as it's not like, say, you're a week out from the main hub.
Oh, you missed out Rathus going for a stick.
Yeah, he's going to go play fetch.
Anyways, with that, I am going to go to sleep slowly. If you have any questions, comments about the NPCs, how this is going to work out. To let you guys know, level 4 is coming up soon, so decide on feats, multi-classing,
Oh shit!
etc., etc.
Oh, I know.
So
That's what I've been thinking about.
Is it feats, feats or attributes, or feats and attributes?
Feats or attributes.
Okay.
To let you know, I do accept most of the Unearthed Arcana content as long as you run it by me.
Okay.
I do have other feats, because I do have the Grim Hollow and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it does have a few other feats that I'm willing to share, etc., etc. I also accept homebrew feats as long as I get to see them first,
Okay.
etc., etc. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I can confirm that